Okay. Okay, we got one person waiting. Okay. All right. Gonna wait to see if some people will come in. AZ Identify. What's up, AZ Identify? Nice to see that you come in. I wonder if y'all noticed that I've changed my name in the well, sort of, but I did some modifications on the title of my YouTube channel. Anyone that's coming in, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, hit that notification bell, and also share this live stream. Share it in your social media, share emails. Eric Johnson, what's up? Eric Johnson, the real. Oh, hey, long time no see as well. Hey, the real Aaron Collins. Say, by the way, if you want to talk, come in. I will also leave links to people who want to come in the live stream. Stephanie Dew, what's up? Hey, what's up? I see you a lot on the the live streams at LB's channel. Oh, and I also want to give you this. Stephanie Dew, you are now officially one of my newest mods. Even being on other people's platforms, you have earned the right to be a moderator on my live stream. Now, everyone else, well, because some of you I still don't know yet, you'll have to earn your way to a opportunity to be modded. Yes, I know he has. I know he has, Stephanie Dew. LB has. I'm trying to see if he'll come over. So I did leave an email for him to come over. So, yeah. So we got some interesting topics we want to talk about. Eric Johnson. Oh, I guess I should give you one as well, Eric Johnson. You've actually been around. So, Eric Johnson, you get one as well. You're now officially a moderator of my channel. You have earned the right. Don't worry, for those who have yet been or not modded, there'll be a time.
I mean, another season, yes.
Hold on, I'm hearing noise. I don't know what it is.
We'll do the shopping for you, so you can do more of what you love.
First tonight, breaking news: a Houston police sergeant shot and killed in the line of duty in a manhunt for the.
Sorry about this, folks. I have to find where that source of noise is coming from.
Rios died in a shootout, but investigators still trying to figure out what led to
all right, I'm trying to find where that source is.
After being shot several times, Sergeant Rios collapsed while trying to get.
Oh, here it is.
Lisa Miles at the scene tonight with the latest development.
That's not really one of the topics I wanted to talk about. I don't know where all of a sudden that the internet wants to bring that up. Okay. I hear the afterburning kicking in your computer. Yeah. All right. Well, that was unfortunately not one of the topics. All right. So, everyone, I wanted to discuss a few topics. The one I want to first talk about is the update on the George Floyd situation. Everyone is talking about, hey, Info Man, what's up? You know what? Since you here, I'm going to see if I can get a few people to come in. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to let some people come in to make this more interesting. So in a few minutes, all right. Hold on a second. I'm going to let some people get in. All right. Leaving the link in the chat room. So Infoman, Real Eric Collins, Eric Johnson, Stephanie Dew, anybody wants to come in and discuss. And if y'all have topics that you also want to bring up, the link is on there. I might also send it to your lives, to your emails if I have your email already. If you want to be invited that way. But the link is in the chat for those who want to come on in. And I'll check in the studio to see if anyone does show up. But if you can't get through the chat room, I'll email it to you and that may help you get in. All right. Now, what was I talking about? Oh, yes. The update on George Floyd. Well, first of all, for those who are just catching up to the story, that was the incident where you had the 4 officers. One of them was landing on the neck of George Floyd with his knee, killing George Floyd when George Floyd was saying that he can't breathe. This happened in Minnesota earlier this year. I believe it was during the summertime when this incident happened, and it caused the biggest uproar and stuff like that. All the officers have not only been fired and have been charged with second-degree manslaughter, second-degree murder. So a lot of charges on these officers and conspiracy to commit murder, and for basically associating with murder, like they're being accomplice to murder and stuff. So that's what's happened to the officers. Oh, we got Eric Johnson. So Eric Johnson, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on.
All right. Anyone else that wants to come in, the link is in the chat room. But I'm now bringing up an update to the George Floyd situation. All right. So you probably want to know what's the update to the story. I just found out that the update was that they were trying to move the court. They were trying to move to a different location for the court case, and they were trying to do separate trials, meaning that the officers will be charged and tried separately. The courts have spoken, and they said they will remain together in the trial and that they are not moving the trial, which means the county where George Floyd is killed will be where the trial is. And that is good, because I bet you this is what they were hoping. They were hoping that they go to a trial that barely knows about the case or will be more sympathized with the officers. That's what they were hoping. And it turned out that plan, that strategy failed. So now they have no choice. They got to do it where it happened. So what do you think about that, Eric Johnson?
I think that's perfect. You have a lot of these judges. These police officers, when they get in trouble, they all have these judges. I won't say on the payroll, but they probably have like influence. They probably like go to each other's house and stuff. So them trying to move the trial out to a different county where Brother George Floyd died. This goes to show you that they trying to work overtime and not give his family justice and stuff. So like every time these people, these crooked cops and stuff kill a police officer, they think that money can turn the other cheek. But not all the black families victims are like that. So we want justice. That money will not bring his life back. What's the use of giving them money if they ain't gonna bring the victim back? Like they just trying to do that to do us money and stuff. So it goes
They're
to show
doing
you they
that.
working overtime.
They're doing that to silence us.
Yeah,
But anyway, as for the judge, I was actually talking about the judge. The judge actually went in the people's favor and George Floyd's favor. They actually denied the lawyers and the lawyers of the defendants that to move the court case. It's going to stay where the killing happened, meaning more people are going to know about the trial. It's because it's going to stay in there. This time the judge didn't go in favor of the cops. This time, I
yeah,
mean,
I'm surprised about that.
yeah, like you said, there have been times where the cops that the judges are on the payroll and will help because they are fellow racists in the race war against black people. But this time, the judges actually said, no, you killed him here. You're going to be tried here by your peers here. And also, they wanted the defendants wanted to be separate. They hoped that if one of them was about to go down, the other ones might be able to get off. But they said,
Hi, I'm Ravina. I'm a principal product manager
sorry about that.
Yeah, right.
All right. Yeah, sorry about that. That happened. I don't know. It's a website. I
Yeah,
forgot.
with all these commercials and stuff, they be on like websites and stuff.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm talking about that the judge actually denied all the requests by the defendants, meaning the four racist cops. Well, three racist cops and one sellout because it was a
Yeah,
black cop. Three of them were non-black. One of them was black, so he was a sellout. But they denied all the defendants' requests, so that puts them at a disadvantage. And the fight for justice against Floyd Mayweather. I mean George Floyd. Yeah, I don't know. He has that last name, but that
yeah,
last name is
yeah. The first name, yeah, I
yeah.
understand.
Sorry about that. Oh
It's
yes,
a weekend.
Stephanie Dews brought up the Botham Giants situation. Yeah, that was a disaster. Now, yes, Amber Geiger did go to prison. She is among those few that actually, like Michael Slager, among those few that actually do go to prison. But it's just her sentence
Yeah, her
is
sentence was terrible.
not strong enough. Like she could be up for parole in 5 years. And I guess so far, as far as her appeal, I guess her appeal didn't go through because she's still in prison.
She
So
need to stay there.
what?
I was
Oh,
saying she need to stay there.
yeah, she needs to stay there. But they said that she could be up for parole after 5 years if good behavior. But her max is actually supposed to be 10 years. But so far, as far as that opportunity for appeal, so far that appeal has yet to happen. I don't think she even went through an appeals trial. So the only good news out of it is that she's still stuck in prison. But yes, that Botham John's family was a disappointment. They really only did it. They did all that hugging and forgiveness stuff to not only put up a show, but they hope that um, they can get money out of it. And that the cops don't go after them for revenge. That was another thing. They feared that the cops will go after them for revenge. So they did all the hugging and forgiving and entertaining, but then it ended up biting them in the butt because number one, Amber Geiger is trying to go for appeal. If they did not forgive her, that she can't go for appeal. And also they didn't really get no much money out of settlement. So that shows you right there, buck dancing and forgiving does not help your case. And that lawyer that they had should not persuade them. They needed a lawyer that's going to really bring down real justice. Lee's Merritt and Benjamin Chump and Sleaze Merritt are not the kind of lawyers we need. We need a Johnny Cochran style lawyer now.
Yeah, it just pains me to see like when black people's family are getting torn up. Then you got the family members hugging them in the courtroom. Then you got I don't know if she was a bailiff in the courtroom. She was stroking Evan Geiger's hair. I'm like, why is he touching her hair or something? If I
Yeah,
was one of the family, yeah,
I'm like, if I'm gonna put a hands on the defendant, it's so when I want to grab the defendant, it's going to be so I can suffocate the defendant, or so I can strangle the victim. I mean strangle the individual because he or she killed one of
yeah,
my family members. That's what I'm gonna. My hug is gonna be one that crushes your bones and stuff like that. The bear hug that you see in wrestling, where you're suffocating, it's crushing your bones and stuff. That's what I'm gonna give. Ain't gonna be no lovey-dovey hug like Barrett Johnson. That brother of Botham John was just a disappointment, a bad example of manhood. Him and his father.
they give these Negroes butter biscuits and they jump high like a dog. I mean, come on, where's your pride at? I know, like you supposed to get money regardless when they kill your family
I
members.
know.
Some of them don't get nothing though, but you don't got to be doing all that.
No, all you gotta do is get a good lawyer, settle a settlement dispute and win the money. You don't have to do all kinds of stupid mess to try to get money. And then if they tell you got to do stupid stuff, then maybe that's not the lawyer you need. You need one that's
Yeah.
not going to require you to do stupid stuff.
And with these cases, why do every black family get the same coon ass lawyer? I don't get that.
That's because they offer their services for free, and they know that most of the black families that do go through these cases, I'm starting to notice a pattern. A lot of the black families whose relatives are killed are low income families. They know to target the weakest links, the weakest in financial. They know how to target the weakest who barely can pay for a better lawyer. They know. It's like they must read the people before they decide to target them. Because you don't see right now, you don't see them go after. They rarely go after people that are more fighting back, and they rarely put the cameras on faces of people that don't forgive and are willing to fight back. And also notice some of these cops don't go after the actual bad criminals that can shoot back, that do have weapons, that actually will shoot back regardless. So that tells you right there, they know who they're really targeting.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that. They're gonna go after those holy what else talk about that?
And
They're
some of
gonna
them
go
are
after
the
those.
people that they're supposed to be going after.
Yeah, they're gonna go after those church going black folks. You know, those glory hallelujah. Please, Jesus, we got to pray for it. Even though they strangled my son, we gonna pray for it. I forgive you, Lord. The Lord don't forgive him. Please, Lord, please. That's how they do. It just makes black people look bad. Then when you have the real ones out here trying to speak up for justice, you got these Negroes out here talking all this. Oh, we don't need this. We need to be working with the white man. I know the white man has done us wrong for 400 plus years and now, but we got to get past it. We got to get on our Kanye West stuff. Now you see what he's going through, trying to run for president and stuff. That goes to show you that the United States of America is just lost now. If a punk like Donald Trump can be president and a person like Kanye West can say he want to run for president in the next 4 years, it goes to show you that America has lost its prestige with the presidency. Like anybody can be president now.
Yeah. Oh yes, exactly right, Info Man. Why hug at all? That's the thing. We need to stop all this freaking hugging.
Yeah.
Hey, Info Man, if you want to come on in, I'll once again the link is right here. If you want to come on in, it's the StreamYard link. I use Streamyard, so if you want to come on in, I liked your recent video. I saw your recent video, Info Man. Yes, make sure y'all subscribe to Information Man Show. He does a lot of great topics. He gets some more details with topics and does more research, even more than this channel. His recent video talked about the how immigration situation, saying about, and it's a very alarming situation, that if we don't come together and start, doing business, because we're at the risk of being a permanent minority. American born citizens, including Black Americans, are about to be a permanent minority by 2065 due to the expansion of immigration. And if you want to hear more about that topic, go to Information. He did a Information Man Show's previous video where he talks about that. And yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to Information Man's channel. So yes, so that's here. I wanted to give you a shout out, Information Man. But yeah, now back to the situation with the justice system and the buck dancing that some of these people do to try to get settlements and stuff. Yeah, that some of these people, I know how some of these families are raised. You got some of these Holy Spirit Christian families. And it's the Christianity and all these religious beliefs that's affected our community, and why you have your your Johnson's family, your Botham John families, and stuff like that. But now, as far as the George Floyd case, I'm glad that the judge said that they're going to have the trial at that particular area, that particular county, and that those officers will be tried together and not separately. That puts them at a disadvantage, meaning if one goes down, all of them go down with them. Oh, by the way, Info Man, first of all, welcome to the show. Do you have anything to say about the situation involving the updates to George Floyd's case?
Well, first of all, thanks for putting the link out. Peace to you both and everybody in the chat room and everyone that will listen to the to your program. Let me touch on something real quick about what you were saying around Elton John. What happened with the Bounton John situation in, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas, as it relates to these Benjamin Crump individuals. One of the reasons why, if you look at it, there's a lot of things that happen to Black people tragic in this society that goes unheard of, untold. Benjamin Crump, what he does is he looks at cases that he knows are going to get national attention. Why? Because he's a negotiator, brother. He's the one that prepares the family for the buck dancing so that they can get a settlement, because that's how he makes his money. Benjamin Crump hasn't won one case. He's a civil rights lawyer. He's a negotiator. So he's looking at the potential of which one of these particular cases could bring him that 10%, that money in his pocket. So when you look at him, he gravitates towards families that have cases that go national. This started with Trayvon Martin. Ask yourself, did anybody ever know who Benjamin Crump was before the Trayvon Martin case? That's the case that's the case that put him at national prominence. And guess what? Did Trayvon Martin get justice? No.
No, he didn't. But you know what the difference is between Botham John and Trayvon Martin's family? The parents did not forgive that George Zimmerman, but Botham John did.
Well, I'll tell you why, and people are not going to like what I'm going to say. It comes down to group and tribal. Bounton John's family, they're not ADOS.
Or FBA.
If you understand ABA, whatever you want to call it, brother, it's about foundational Black people in America. It's about what I'm saying is they come from a different culture. If you look at their culture and how they put white people on this pedestal, when they come here to America. Boughton John's family was very heavily religiously oriented. They were very white Jesus oriented. It doesn't mean that we don't have black people in America born here that have that same ideology, but I think there's a difference in culture. See, this is one of the mistakes that we make. We think because someone's black and they have skin like ours, that they are self and kind like us. We have various black people in the diaspora of the world who grow up in a different type of culture, and they have a different attitude as it relates to white people. Black people in America, we have always been in a situation in which we've been willing to fight this white devil. We've been willing to fight
Right.
where other groups have submitted to this white devil and just say it is what it is. So the reason why I believe his family was so lovey-dovey is not necessary because they were trying to get the highest settlement. I think that was truly their ideology, brother, because when you listen to the brother talk, what did he say? He say, I forgive you. Where does that come from? That comes out of the religious doctrination, and we know that these other countries around the world, Africa, the Caribbean, you have all these white missionaries that go over there and push the Christianity very heavily. And what is part of Christianity? That you forgive those who do transactions against you. So when the brother was talking like that, brother, I thought he was very sincere in how he felt because of his indoctrination. And if you notice, his whole family was like that. So go right ahead, brother Eric Johnson. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good. You speaking facts, brother.
Yeah,
you
actually speaking a lot of true facts, information man.
Yeah.
What information man is saying is it may not have been because of money. There are black people who are going these same cases that don't forgive and they still get a lot of money, and even better, they get justice. Yes, colonization through one of the ways that colonization affected black people from around the world, other than war and stuff like that, was through the practice teaching of religious beliefs. They also did this to native tribes here, like Native Americans. They did that to a lot of non-white people in different tribes, or at least they tried to. Right. But they, like you said, there have been few of us that fought back. But unfortunately, the culture that Boughton John's family comes from was not one of those that fought back. It was one of the ones that submitted.
Well, let me say this. I believe in being fair and balanced here. If I'm not mistaken, they're Haitian. So I have to give this description to be very fair. The Haitians did put up one of the only fights against the French and the colonizers back hundreds of years.
Spanish.
And as a result of that, we have to be honest, Jdawg, as a result of that, America would not be the country that it is today if it had not been for that fight. You know why? Because the whole middle half of America was owned by the French. And because the Haitians drove them out and killed them, right?
They lost a lot of money.
They lost a lot of money, and that's when the French had to sell off the land, which is why we have the whole middle half of the country. However, this is the difference. Boughton John and his family are not the Haitians of 100 of years ago. Because those Haitians said, we got to first do what? What was the first thing that they did before they fought against the French? They got rid of their sellouts. They got rid of the sellouts first. So look at it like this. Those Haitians were not the Haitians that were indoctrinated by the Christianity, because those Haitians believed in their religious practices, and and the Europeans called it what? They called it voodoo, which really it's called hoodoo. So they were still engrossed in their culture and their religious practices against the white man. It wasn't until the white man got his grips on Haiti and pushed in his religion that you can have a product of the Boughton John phenomenon. You get what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Also, you had some of the Haitians that wanted to escape because some of those Haitians who were all the lovey-dovey forgiveness. Those are people that the government allows to immigrate and stuff like that. They can't pick the people that are going to be fighting the white man, and we're going to kick each other. We're going to kick the butts of white supremacy, because what's going to happen is they're going to end up with someone like Stokely Carmichael, Malcolm X, or Margaret Scarvey. Those were the immigrants who are descendants of immigrants who fought back the slave masters,
Right.
who fought the racists. So
But-
it's like we can't have those kind of people. And matter of fact, that's who ICE goes after more
Right.
than that's who ICE goes after heavily than even the other immigrants that you hear about that are in those camps and stuff.
So the Haitians of the yesteryears of 100 years that fought against the French are not the Boughton John and his family are they do not represent those particular Haitians, because those Haitians were not indoctrinated by the Christianity, not yet. Now this is a problem that we as black people in America have, Jdawg, and I'm gonna say it again. We have to get out of this mindset that just because a person is black, they come from Africa, the Caribbean, and they're black people, that does not mean that they are on the same page with those of us who want justice, liberty, and pursuit of our happiness, and we want to be left alone. And we want to identify ourselves, whether it be foundational, ADOS, whatever you want to identify yourself as. We cannot assume that not all other black people who come from other parts of the diaspora are on the same page with black people that were born here in America, who came out of the slave or have ancestors who came out of the slave experience. Some people are on the same page with us and some people are not. That's how we get confused, because we think everybody is with us because they're black.
Yeah, and also when it comes to immigration, who are the ones that they want allow immigrants to come over to immigrate? If they want immigrants, the ones that will hate black Americans. Now, the ones that do want to fight side by side, that do believe in a coalition and stuff like that. Matter of fact, that's why they created ICE. See, they wanted to go after the well, first of all, one reason was because too many immigrants was starting to overpopulate, that it was causing white racist numbers to make them the minority and not the majority no more. Because it's not just black Americans who fear being the minority. And 20 years before we become the permanent minority, the white racists, the descendants of slave owners, they're going to be an even bigger minority than even us, because one thing that they're having problems with is birth rates. So that's why they started going after not only black Americans. That's when they started deciding we need to go after immigrants too. But they definitely go after any immigrants that side with black Americans.
Well, let's be specific here, Jdawg. Immigration has been a big part of American society. This is the reality. When you bring up the issue of immigrants, you notice that you didn't hear Donald Trump say we got too many Germans, we got too many Swedes, we got too many Irish, we got too many Russians coming over here to America. See, a lot of times when we talk about immigration, which is our big mistake, we talk about it from the framework of Latinos, right? Hispanics. And I understand why we do that. I do it too. I did a show on immigration because Hispanics are a population that is growing in this country, but Hispanics are a population that are affecting the economic bottom line of black people, because they're able to come over here and work in construction jobs and various jobs that black men used to have, and they undercut our brothers who are trying to get into unions, trying to get skilled trades and make a good living. So you bring these illegals over here to undercut the money and the benefits that black people are having. I'm gonna tell you something. The illegal immigrant population coming over from Mexico is not impacting white people. Because why? I'm gonna give you the reason why. Because white people control the institutions of economics. They control the institutions of military, politics, everything. Religion, education. They control the institutions so they can simply at any time they want keep these people out of power. Right? Black people, we don't control these institutions. So when these immigrants come over here from Mexico, it impacts us. Now, the reason why we don't hear the conversation about the Germans and the Jews that come over from Israel is because European immigrants, and they are a large contingency, and nobody talks about it, they're not threatened by them because they see them as self-like and kind. and they're not threatened by them.
And
Now,
because they look like them.
right,
They're
and they
white
look like
too.
them. You know why they look like them? Because let's go back into history. Because they're all Romans. You know, Europeans are nothing but they're all part of the Roman tribe. They're all part of that. They came out of Germanic tribes, right? So when you say
came out of tribes like Greeks,
right,
and Greek
so,
and Roman, they were the first
right.
Europeans.
Right. So so even though the French and the Greeks and the Germans all talk a different language, they still are part of these tribes that broke off in different parts of Europe, but they're all under that empire, that Roman type empire. You know why it's true? All you got to do, look at American symbolism. They use the eagle, they use shields. If you look at our symbolism in our government, it all comes out of Roman culture, Eurocentric culture. Right?
Not just Roman culture, Greek culture too.
Well,
Roman was around before Greece, like the ability,
right.
democracy.
But
democracy actually came from Greece.
Yeah. The reason why I bring up Rome, because Rome was the last. It was an empire that controlled everything. Matter of fact, eventually Rome controlled Greece.
Yes, exactly.
So you have to look at Rome, because Rome is what America is today, an empire that stretches its arms all over the world and everybody's goddamn business. Okay? Now when you look at the Chinese, and you say, well, why are they not talking about how the Chinese are a threat to they're threatening our immigration policies? Because the Chinese are seen as what? A perfect buffer class that assimilates into American culture. They don't make no noise. They just assimilate, and they're not seen as a threat.
At least not right now.
Yeah.
At least not right now, because America and Europe are mad at China now over this virus, over what's going on in the Caribbean and Africa.
Okay, then,
and stuff like that. They're not mad at them now.
Jdawg, why is it that? Let me ask you a question. When they talk about immigration, they make it the face of Latino people. They hardly ever talk about Chinese immigrants having an impact in America. Because, for the most part, when Chinese immigrants come here, what do? They go to their Chinese ghetto. We call it Chinatown. They go to their own community, and they're able to protect themselves and isolate themselves within their own community infrastructure, the same infrastructure that black people in America should have. Now, with that said, the Chinese, even though they have their own communities, they still are seen as a model immigrant because they do tend to assimilate into the system.
Yes.
Okay.
And because they actually bring money to the country, and because their homelands actually work with America through trade.
Right.
So they're not going to be as much of a threat. You
right.
see, Latin America is pulling away from America, and plus you got to also think of the skin color population numbers. With the birth rate issue that's affecting the rest, the last thing the white racists want to see is majority of the population of their homeland, or, well, it's not really their homeland, but any kind of land that they live in, don't look like them. See, they're thinking about skin color numbers, and they're thinking about their birth numbers.
Well, that's why you made a good point. If you look at our immigrant brothers from the Caribbean or even the continent of Africa, and then those black Cubans that nobody talks about, I said that on my show,
and Mexicans,
nobody talks about, black Mexicans. Too. Those individuals, when they come across the border, or if they come to a place like Florida, the black Cubans, they get returned. So if you're a black and you're an immigrant and you come over here, quote unquote, illegally, they're returning your ass, especially in Florida, because the white Cubans control Florida, and they only allow other white Cubans to get asylum while sending the other ones back. That happens all the time. So what you're saying is right. They don't want to see America become darker. Therefore, they're trying to get rid of the black immigrants. And, of course, they don't want the Latino immigrants here. Right, but this is the dilemma, though. This is the dilemma for us as black people that were born here, is that unfortunately we get, it's like a sandwich. You got bread, you got two pieces of bread, and then you got the meat in between. We as black people born in America, we get sandwiched by these immigrants on both sides, brother, because they don't necessarily come over here and say, I'm going to unite with black people in America against this white man. I'm going to give you an
they ain't
example.
gonna do that.
Right. Yeah, the sellouts, the traitors and stuff don't.
Right.
The ones that want to be friendly with white people, yeah, they don't. Yeah. But look, the reason why they still get rejected, at least some of them do, is because of the fear that one will come in and side with us. Because there are a few that will side with us. That's why that's the fear, is at least one or a couple do decide to side with us. That's why they send the darker ones back.
I talked to a brother from Liberia. Liberia is a country in the continent of Africa that was basically created by black people in America leaving America. Liberia. He actually was a young man, left Liberia, came to America. You know what he told me? You know, when we say that they tell immigrants and tell other people in the world that when you come to America, don't mess with black people. He told me point blank that when he was coming over here to become a citizen, that he was told to leave black Americans alone. Stay away from us. He confirmed it as facts because he experienced it as a young man coming into the country. That's what someone told me from the diaspora.
I'm not surprised by it.
Go ahead, Eric.
I said I'm not surprised by it because they don't want us unified, so they'll try to separate us by any means necessary.
That's right. You know? They don't want another Marcus Garvey. That's why they tell that to immigrants, especially black immigrants, Africans, Caribbeans, especially. They tell that is because they do not want another Marcus Garvey, and they don't want any Latinos and Asians who are friendly with black people to help as well. There are Latinos that will help black people. There are Asians that will help black people. That's the thing. They don't want that. They are afraid of a real black and brown coalition. They are afraid of a real minority coalition. When I say real, I don't mean this fake one that people talk about that absolutely does nothing, that doesn't exist. I'm talking about a real one that has yet to exist. They don't want, and like I said, they don't want another Marcus Garvey either. That's why they do what they do when it comes to immigration. And that's why things like the TSA and things like ICE was created, to make sure that stuff like that don't happen.
It just goes to show you that white supremacists will use codes in any culture to keep us separated. Because, you know, once we get unified, it's over. Because, you know, this is the problem I have with white people. Y'all be so much in black people's business, but y'all hate us so much. What's going on with that? Y'all be worrying about what's going on in the black culture, besides y'all taking stuff from us, besides our music, you know, our women, you know, different things that black people have revolutionized in this country and all around the world. You so busy hating black people, calling us the N-word, calling us ungrateful, calling us weak and everything, but y'all be so busy in black people's business.
Yes, it's because they're afraid of what is going to come out when we actually do stuff like build businesses, unify and stuff. The greatest fear of the white man or the white racist or any anti-black racist that hates black people, who hates black skin, is a fear of a unified black diaspora. Not just a unified black America, but a unified black global black diaspora. Black people from America, black people from Europe, black people from Canada, black people from the Caribbean, black people from Latin America, black people from Australia, black people from the Middle East. There are black Middle Easterns. I'm talking about black women, black men, black children, black heterosexuals, black LGBT, black Republicans, black Democrats, an entire unified diaspora on the purpose of race and skin color, not different ideologies, but just simply racial identity and skin color. That is what anti-racist, anti-black people who are anti-black are afraid of that kind of unification because they fear what was done to us will be done to them.
They couldn't. They probably couldn't handle the pain and suffering that our people went through, and that goes for like every corner of the world. Because you know, with us on different continents all around the world, even though we have the same skin color, all of us has been through something like racial, but in like a different perspective. So they gotta use their white supremacy worldwide to try to do something different because they ain't just handling the black the black the black people in the United States of America. We're worldwide, so they gonna have to handle it in different situations to keep their power grip. But you know, we're getting stronger and stronger every day.
Yes. And thanks to new black media, people like you, Information Man, people like Jason Black, people like Tariq, Phil Scott of the African Diaspora, the LDBC. By the way, speaking of the LDBC, CSH Combat Sports, welcome to the chat room. Hey, I want to know if you want to come on in later because we're going to talk about the Tyson Fury situation. I would like you to come on in and help us discuss that. That'll be a topic we're going to talk about later, ladies and gentlemen. I'm hoping more LDBC people show up. But speaking of them, Jason Black, Tariq Nasheed, whether you love them or whether you hate them, we are helping with the unification of our people. We are giving the information because one of the biggest problems, one of the biggest war tactics that anti-black people use to attack black people is manipulation through the media, whether it's news, entertainment, etc., any forms of media. The mainstream media will put up images that support different kinds of agendas that will be a detriment. The ratchet behavior, the gang-banging ratchet behavior. And this is not an attack on the alphabet community, on the LGBT, but they will push stuff that will be more favored towards LGBT to try to keep us from procreating because they know two men can't procreate to make a child, neither with two women. But they'll also, and this is not to go against anyone who's involved with interracial dating, but why are they also pushing that heavily? It's because they don't want black men and black women to unify. But this is not me being anti-interracial dating. This is me pointing out a hypocrisy of what kind of media things they put in the media to manipulate black people.
Yeah, so, I mean, black people are this is the key thing though. If you don't have an understanding of critical thinking skills is the most important skill that you can have. The ability to think critically, to look at both sides of the coin and not let media or speak for you, but always investigate and always question any authority that you come across. Always question what you're reading, learn and understand how to research, because they're throwing so many subliminal messages at us in our movies, our television. You can't even watch Jdawg. You can't even watch a Netflix movie nowadays without them putting some sort of intersectional stuff or something in the movie that sort of like, man, I can't watch this anymore. It's becoming unwatchable. So that's why we have to tune out of these dummy boxes and tune into more reading and more research and getting with people of like minds who are looking for what we're talking about, coming together, unity. But what our problem is that, and I think this is probably this is probably what hurt us. When we had straight segregation in America, black people were sort of, we know this, segregated to themselves. So there was no black person, whether they were an athlete or entertainer, who could just leave our community and go live in the white community, right? But nowadays, what you have is a situation where black people are so divided and split all over the place because some of us want to go live over here. Some of us want to think that we're accepted by white people or this group over here. So that has sort of hurt our unity to do things for ourselves because we've been so integrated into this society, or at least we think we have, to think that now that I can go to J.C. Penney's, I can go to Macy's, and I can spend my money and give it to a white man, go to their store, or I can spend my money on the black man's baseball game, even though the white man's baseball game, even though the Negro Leagues was a better brand of baseball than the major leagues, because I can give them my money and have them set me at the top of the stadium, because that's what they did to black folks when they started allowing us to go to white baseball games. They put your ass at the top bleacher. So when you go to a sporting event today and you see the seats way at the top, that was designed for our black asses a long time ago.
Yeah, because that's where the sun was hotter and
Right.
the rain will pour on us and stuff like that.
Right.
Yep.
So
Can't see the game.
Yeah.
You got to use binoculars and shit.
Yeah, that's right. If you want to actually see the athletes, you sit at the bottom. If you actually want to look at an athlete face to face, you sit at the bottom. You know,
Right.
like a concert, you sit front row. The only time that is good to sit in the back or sit up top is the movie theater, where you'll see the whole screen. That is the only time where sitting at the top is a good thing, is the movie theater.
How many of us, Jdawg, how many black people today, that's called critical thinking skills, seeing with a third eye, hearing with a third ear. How many of us realize when we go to sporting events and they have the seats that are way up in the nosebleeds, that was specifically designed for black people when they decided to allow us to go to their games, when they decided to integrate sporting events, they specifically designed those top areas for our black asses.
To tell you the truth, I really don't know. And as a matter of fact,
Yeah, I never knew that.
Stuff you just told me, I didn't know. Some of that stuff I did not know until now.
Because when you look at history, when they allowed, not to get too far off subject here, but it's still in subject, when they allowed black people to go to Major League Baseball games, they said we got to separate the black people from the white people. So the white people got to sit in the nice seats down below. And they said put the Negroes up top. That's how it started.
Yeah. Yes. So yes, we need to do more critical thinking and more reading and more researching to counter against the subliminal messages from the mainstream media. Another thing is, if you still want to be involved with media, why not create our own media? Like I mentioned earlier, we have the New Black Media that's trying to help with critical thinking. The New Black Media, independent media in general, uses more real journalism and more critical thinking than the lamestream media. You see, the lamestream media of today, the NBCs, CBS, ABCs of the world, in the past, they were about real journalism. What was one thing that they were also that did not affect them? Corporate capitalism. Corporations were not investing in journalism, especially if the journalist, the news anchor, was doing negative stories about corruption within a corporation.
Right.
So what did the corporations decide to do? They decided to invest and advertise for these different television channels and networks, because they want to not only sell their products and service, they also wanted to use the money to influence some parts of the media. They say, if you talk about this, or as long as you don't say nothing negative about my corporation, we will invest money for you. That's what they're also doing with some social media platforms like YouTube. This one right here. We'll give you advertisement. We'll put ads, and you lure your viewers to be our customers, and also don't talk bad about us or don't talk about things that might offend us and our customer base. We'll give you some money as long as you let us put ads, and as long as nothing bad comes out of your videos.
Right.
So,
I mean, look, let me bring this up, Jdawg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the Black Lives Matter movement, which they're trying to. You can see the media along with the Proud Boys, the Boogaloo Boys, and this Trump right, who are trying to associate Black Lives Matter with the Antifa. And this is how I feel about it. I don't give a damn, because Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement, as far as I'm concerned and from what I'm seeing, has already been infiltrated.
Yeah, definitely been infiltrated.
Somebody has their phone.
Oh, sorry, that's me. Let me mute myself real quick.
Yeah, they've already the movement has been infiltrated, and as a result, you've got all these white people out there marching around with Black Lives Matter shirt on, and this is the thing that's scary about it. You don't know how many of these Black Lives Matter white folks are actually part of these hate groups, because
agents undercover.
Some of them are agents,
undercover agents.
They're undercover agents. Why? Because just this past weekend, there was two white folks dressed in black with goggles on. They were the ones that incited that situation at the hotel in D.C. with the Trump supporters, and they had guess what they had on? They had umbrellas, and they're trying to associate them with Antifa or Black Lives Matter, but a lot of these are provocateurs. Now, I did some research where they tried to say that the guy in Minnesota was a part of the Minnesota police that was walking around busting out windows at the Firestone building.
Yeah, I seen the video.
But look at what he had. Look at what he had on. He was dressed in black with goggles, and he had an umbrella.
Yeah, couldn't identify him. They have no arms. They have nothing showing he was a police officer or nothing. You see, that's what they try to do. They sneaky like that. They'll get into these groups and try to infiltrate.
Yes, and let's not forget the Black Lives Matter organization. Even if there's no infiltration, that black organization is not even really for black people, or at least not for black heterosexual men in the first place. It was funded by members of the LGBT community to focus on black trans, but they use the deaths of black men to bring up their own agenda. If
George
you heard
Soros. George
If
Soros was the one that financed the Black Lives Matter movement
and stuff like that. And also the website. Did you know that their website even showed that they were if you saw, a lot of people did videos on their website of what they were actually for. And matter of fact, it got so much backlash, they had to get rid of that statement off their own website because of the backlash.
Well, the Black Lives Matter website has gone through a lot of changes. Originally,
that's what I meant.
They were about
the backlash.
Originally they were about black family, and then they changed it to the intersexual stuff. Then it got changed again. So I'm just saying the black folks
they
out
removed
there,
some of that because of the backlash.
I'm just saying that black people, we should not. I don't think we should associate ourselves with an organization that is lived off the backs of black men that have been dead. Yet everything on their website is about all this intersectionality stuff. And they've been infiltrated by all these kooky white folks.
Boys doing interviews with them and stuff. I'm like, how are you about black people, but you doing interviews with Proud Boys members?
Yeah, you're infiltrated. You're talking with Boogaloo Boys and Proud Boys. I'm like, they're the racist group. One guy who's a member of one of those organizations just recently came out and said they're not going to hide the fact that they are racist anymore. They're going to expose that they want to say that they're racist.
Well, I just think that black people. I just think that black people need to stay away from any of these organizations that are associated. I've even seen a video on Brother Urema Karima's channel where he displayed, I think it was in Kansas City, where you had a Black Lives Matter chapter. They were all hugged up with police. They were hugging them and kissing and talking about we're going to work together. So I'm just saying in a nutshell, I don't think that Black Lives Matter. And you know what's the shame about this too? Where I'm really disappointed, given what's happening to this organization, is that they got that name Black Lives Matter. I can't stand the fact that they've got that slogan, but yet there ain't nothing really black about it anymore.
I know this. I'm for the hashtag, the
Yeah,
movement,
me too.
and for the cause. I believe that Black lives should matter and stuff. I believe that part. But yeah, the actual organization, I want nothing to do with the organization. That's
Yeah.
why, and you know what? There's actually organizations that are for Black people, that is created by actual Black people for Black people, but notice they don't get the same
Don't get
funding.
the prestige and stuff the don't get the surveillance and stuff. Don't be on the news and stuff. They'll rather give it to these other groups and stuff.
Yeah, but some of them, they get easily shut down. Now, I want to go back to the whole thing about creating our own media real quick. Excuse me. The purpose of people like Tariq, yourself, Information Man, Jason Black, the LDBC, and other sorts of people in the new Black media is that as new Black media, we are one of the few critical thinking, real journalists that is actually trying to combat the media manipulation of the mainstream media. We may not be big yet, but we are growing in numbers. And there's others. You got the Fly Nubian Queens. You got people like Harvey, people like Nicole's View, and many others. We're using critical thinking and real journalism and research to fight against the subliminal manipulation of the mainstream media. Also, I want to bring up, there's a Netflix style streaming platform called Qualiv TV. Have you ever heard of a comedian named Little Rel? He's decided to work with Qualiv TV. It's a Black-owned streaming service. I also believe it's called Qualiv TV. This one lady was the one that created Qualiv TV, but I wanted to bring it up because it's a Black-owned Netflix, a Black-owned streaming platform. And then you got Black-owned platforms like Black Junction TV and stuff like that. And then you have Black Enough, which is Dr. Boyce Watkins' streaming platform. These are platforms that are social media and streaming that is have content creators come in and bring Black-run entertainment and even information to counter the subliminal messages of the mainstream media. We need to start supporting these outlets, and I've even talked different videos about them. I even have them on my playlist, like my Black in Business and BFNT news playlist. You will have me have at least one video talk about these platforms and stuff, because they, along with Tariq and Phil, the Vice Show, and his now it's called the African Diaspora. I forgot what the rest of it is called, but these people, no, it is not affiliated with Twaliv Kweli. It is not affiliated with Twaliv Kweli. A lot of people made that mistake before. Yeah, Qualiv TV is a whole separate thing. It's not affiliated with that rapper. But yeah, I'm bringing these up is because we need to start supporting. Do you know that the one guy from Black Junction TV is still trying to raise money through GoFundMe to do to add live streaming to his Black Junction TV site? He's like right now at $4,000 something. He still needs $25,000. He's only at $4,000 something right now. I've donated money. I know some other people probably do, but these are the people we need to start supporting instead of, because I hear people complain about YouTube is flagging me and stuff like that. Well, and Netflix is doing pedophile movies like Cuties and stuff like that. Well, maybe
they've been doing that.
Yeah,
with the subliminals of the Black man. You know?
Yeah, if you're sick and tired of that stuff, maybe
it's also spending your money.
yeah, stop spending your money with them. Maybe it's time you start supporting platforms like Quality TV and Black Junction TV and stuff like that. And, you know, I've actually made some money off on Black Junction TV, not as much because, you know, they have, you know, financial situations, but, you know, it's going to take time and stuff like that. But and I can't take that money out because I'm not at a certain max level. But I'm like, why don't you start supporting these platforms instead of complaining about what Netflix and YouTube is doing and stuff like that? Yes, it was disgusting with Dana, but guess what? People still have accounts. I'm guilty, but people still have account. I at least have an account at Quality TV. But yeah, the problem is we got some people now. I've gotten rid of accounts before, but you get to some of these platforms that have done things very evil. But you got some people who still support some of these platforms, and don't want to support platforms like Quality TV. I support Quality TV. I actually have an account to Quality TV. I have a channel on Black Junction TV and stuff because I wanted to make sure that those platforms succeed because they represent our people. But you want to, and then that way I won't need platforms like YouTube and also stuff like that. But you have people who won't even try to look and support them. Does anyone have anything to say about what I'm saying?
Jdawg, doing a good thing here, brother. I'm gonna unfortunately have to get off. I got somewhere I have to run for about a minute, and if you're still back on, I'll check you back out. But a great conversation.
Okay.
Great. This is a great conversation, man. There's a lot going on in this world. Just everybody use your third eye, your third ear, listen, study, research. Don't take everything for granted. And let me just say this, Jdawg, too. I was looking at Tariq just yesterday, and I thought he made an excellent point about this election where he said, if you notice all the areas that they claimed that there was cheating in this election, it was always showing black people in the voting centers counting the votes, almost as a way to scapegoat black people for, it's black people that are the reason why this election didn't go Trump's way. Always want to blame us. So Trump didn't win because there was some cheating. And guess who was involved in that cheating? It was black people. So they kept showing black people in all these voting polls, which, by the way, happen to be areas where in Philadelphia you have a large black population. In Georgia you got a large black population, right? But there was all this focus on black people who were in there volunteering their time or working their time to count these votes correctly, and the focus was on black people so that they can make us the scapegoat. Then that's the reality. Now, brothers, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Yes. What Information Man is saying is what Trump and the racists are trying to do is there's going to be a big backlash because of Kamala being vice president and Joe Biden being president, meaning there's going to be a lot of violent attacks. So be careful. And Town Business, I was watching Town Business videos, a couple of his videos. He said that we're going to have to arm ourselves. We're going to have to learn how to fight back because there's going to be regardless of who won, there's going to be a lot of violence. You saw it, you've heard about it, and you probably already seen it over at DC earlier.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, that MAGA crap. They're going to find someone to blame. The racists who support Trump are going to have to find someone to kill, someone to blame, and that's why Tariq pointed out that it was mostly those black people that was at the voting polls that Trump says was cheating and stuff. With other words, he's saying what Trump is saying is if they don't get the White House back, you know what to do, racists. You know who to kill, you know who to target, and you don't forget some of these people have infiltrated law enforcement. So expect a possibility uptick of more police violence on black people, maybe even worse than Obama, worse than Trump, especially if they were a Trump supporter, just out of that. Oh,
And
by
I
the
mean,
way, thank you. I want to thank Information Man for coming in. I'm putting his link to his channel, or at least one of his channels, in the description, in the comment section. So make sure you go click on that comment section if you haven't, and subscribe to his channel. He does a lot of good information, good interviews. Yeah, check it out. Eric Young, do you have anything to say about what me and Information said?
yeah, I'm glad Information Man brought up the whole Donald Trump situation. They always want to blame the black man for something, but you had Hispanics out here going to Donald Trump rallies, Cubans up there salsa dancing, talking about vote for Donald Trump, talking all that trash about Donald Trump and him building the wall and stuff. But y'all people out there salsa dancing from him. They always want to blame black people. Everybody, most likely for every race, played a part in this damn election. It wasn't just black people. And I want to say this, and I want to keep talking about this with these damn Hispanics. Not all of them, but the ones who was out there at the little voting ballots when they was recounting the votes and stuff. You had some video. You had these ladies just praying in like Spanish and stuff with their Donald Trump hats on, just praying like, "Oh, please, please, Donald Trump, please." You know, all that Spanish shit they be talking and stuff. I don't be understanding most of that stuff, you know, because they was at the ballot, like when they was recounting the ballots and stuff. It was getting so bad they was covering up like the windows and stuff. You had them out there crying and stuff. Had the little Santa Maria crosses. They was just sitting on the ground crying and praying. This the same person that was talking about get those immigrants out, build a wall. We don't need none of them. But y'all, the same people out here was voting for him. So it ain't just the black man's fault. It's everybody's fault. Cause I'm holding my vote. I'm not voting. I ain't never voted a day in my life because I don't see nobody on either side, Republicans or Democrats, they're gonna do anything for our people. They talk about what they're gonna do, but they doing stuff for their people. You keep talking about Kamala Harris this, Kamala Harris that. She's not black. She don't understand what it is to be a black person in America, let alone to be black in the world. Cause she's more focused on her mother's side. She's Hindu Indian. She ain't really with her father's side of Jamaican heritage, so she ain't really down with that. So she's saying all this extra stuff about she knows all this about black culture and stuff just because you misquoting hip hop lyrics, wearing Timberlands and Converses, and going on the versus channels when they were like doing like the verses with like the artists and stuff. Because I seen it on one of those videos. She just butting herself into black people's stuff when she don't even know nothing about black people and what the struggles we go through worldwide.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. So yeah. Yeah, but yet you got some people who just want to trust Kamala and stuff like that. Okay, I actually was gonna talk about that stuff later. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about what we need to do to make sure we get our agenda across. Otherwise, we're gonna have to start voting some people out, or we're gonna have to just not participate in the voting at all and let them mess up and stuff.
I say this.
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. Like us as black people, we've been voting for generations throughout generations throughout generations, and not once, as long as I've been alive for these past 26 years, have I seen like a major change going in our community. People are still dying. They still stereotyping us as lazy folks on food stamps. All we're good for is making babies and being incarcerated at numerous amounts throughout the prison system. But they don't talk about the good things about our culture. They always want to go on the negative things. Black people have built this country. We have fought in every major war throughout the United States history, but y'all have the nerve to disrespect us. But y'all need black people. Without black people in the United States of America, this country wouldn't exist.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But they won't acknowledge that. That's the thing.
They don't want to acknowledge that. They'd rather acknowledge some other culture who ain't put in none of the work, if not all of the work that black people have put in this country throughout the test of time. But they always want to give the Hispanics, the Asians, and these other cultures their props and stuff. They don't never want to give black people their props. But y'all the ones that always want to come in our culture and take our resources and stuff. But y'all have the nerve to say black people ain't good for nothing. If we ain't good for nothing, why y'all keep coming in our culture? Just like I was saying earlier, this is what I have a problem with white people. Not all of them, but the ones out here doing this bullshit to us and stuff. Y'all be so busy focused on black people, y'all should really be focused on these other groups and stuff. They're doing terroristic things. Black people ain't known for doing terroristic things. We ain't known for going into schools and getting our building roof on and shooting people. Because if we did something like that as a black person, they would have been killed us. They would have sent us to like a Burger King and got us a 4 for 4 meal. They would have been killed us.
Yeah, and stuff like that. All right. I'm going to get on to our next topic, but we will probably go back to the election and stuff like that later on. I want to know if there's anything else you wanted to say, because I'm going to look at some stuff real quick, and then we're going to get on to our next topic. We're going to talk about the Tyson Fury scandal. I wonder if Combat CSH is still in the chat room, because I want to see if I can bring him in, because I would like to talk to him about this situation, about the Tyson Fury scandal with the gloves and stuff like that. But yeah, I want to get in the situation. I want to get in the situation, talking about the Tyson Fury scandal, that the LDBC was talking about, evolving with his gloves. So first of all, I want to help y'all catch up to why people have been talking about Tyson Fury's scandal and the whole situation about him versus Deontay Wilder. Yes, Stephanie, dude, those flapping boxing gloves. Earlier this year, before the pandemic, in February, you had a heavyweight title fight for the WBC Heavyweight Boxing Championship. The competitors of the fight was the former champion, Deontay Wilder, and the challenger at the time, Tyson Fury, or should I say Tyson McFlurry. He calls himself the Gypsy King, but I call him the Gypsy Queen, while Deontay Wilder is known as the Bronze Bomber. The Bronze Bomber nickname comes from the fact that Deontay Wilder actually served his country as an Olympian, an American Olympian. He won the bronze medal in one of the Olympic Games. I forgot which one it was. It was either 2012 or 2000. No, maybe not that. It was either 2012, 2004. It was one of those Olympics. He won the bronze medalist for the heavyweight division, which comes with the name the Bronze Bomber. Several years later, he becomes one of the longest running WBC champions for like almost 5 years, and was almost about to beat the record of Floyd Mayweather for being undefeated in fights. But then came the rematch. Now, Deontay, this is actually the second match against Tyson Fury, because they were in a match before where it resulted in a draw. So they decided a rematch. Well, 2 rematches. A second match and a third match was going to be in the contract that if either one lost, that they get at least one rematch to redeem themselves after they have lost. Tyson Fury ended up being considered the winner by technical knockout. Tyson Fury is now the WBC champion. The WBC is one of 4 sanctioned bodies in the current sport of boxing. The others are the WBA, the IBF, and the WBO. Those three of those heavyweight titles belong to another British fighter, Anthony Joshua. See, the winner of this fight was also going to determine who had the privilege of fighting Anthony Joshua, who has the other 3 sanctioning body belts. But then photos started coming out for both the first and second fight with flated glove, with flat gloves and wraps with blood in them, which, by the way, that is very not supposed to be possible, because you're supposed to have the gloves deeply on your hand and not be flapping, and there cannot be no blood in the wraps. They're supposed to, your hands are supposed to be in the gloves, and the impact is supposed to be from the gloves. But then they also noticed some of Deontay Wilder's injuries and his toxic reports. There's rumors that Deontay Wilder may have been spiked with a drink, and then when they saw his injury reports, a dent to the head, but the doctors said this cannot be caused by Tyson Fury's bare hands, with or without gloves, or with bare knuckles. They suspected that he may have been attacked with a foreign object that may have been in Tyson's gloves, which is why there was barely any patent in the gloves of Tyson Fury. The gloves were from a company called Pathin Sports. The reason why the WBC did not want to investigate it, because they found out that the gloves may have been endorsed by the WBC, meaning that there was an endorsement deal with the gloves. Oh, hey, CSH Combat Sports. Say, you want to come on in? Maybe you can discuss more about the Tyson Fury situation. Yeah, no padding. Hey, CJS. Since you talk about combat sports, I want to know if you want to come on in. The link is right in the comment section. I would like to see a combat sports expert talk about this situation. All right, I want to try to see if I can get him to come in if he wants to.
Okay, we good.
All right, yes. I want to introduce y'all to CHS Combat Sports. Oh, by the way, make sure y'all subscribe to his channel as well. I'm going to see if he, I want to try this. If I want to continue, I'm going to show you to his channel first. Put the link to his channel first. He talks mostly about combat sports and MMA, boxing. He's part of the LDBC. He's in here. He's the coach. All right, Coach, what's up? Welcome to the show.
Man, what's going on, Jdawg? How you doing, sir?
Hey, how's it going?
All right, Mr. Johnson, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, brother. How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here with both of y'all too, man. I'm glad to be here, man.
All right. Before we get started, I'm just going to put the link to your channel for anyone who's interested in subscribing to your channel, Coach. What I'm about to show is the link to his channel. It's CSH Combat Sports. Oh shoot, I spelled combat wrong. I forgot to put the A.
Man, ain't no.
Hold on, I haven't clicked it in yet. All right, hold on a second. I just want to do that real quick so I can pay attention. Oh, by the way, congratulations on your interview with the former WWE superstar Jazz. Yeah,
Yeah, me too. I grew up looking at her in the Attitude Era and stuff. She definitely revolutionized the wrestling industry for female wrestlers, especially black female wrestlers, because they don't get a lot of prestige in wrestling.
Yeah, she was, I believe she was the second black female to win the women's champions, because the one before her was Jacqueline, stuff like that. Oh, by the way, I just put your link to your channels for people to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to CSH Combat Sports. All right, now back to the Tyson Fury situation. So yeah, I'm telling people who don't know about the story about the the glove gate is what people was talking about. Tyson Fury's gloves, barely little to no padding. There's a possibility of a foreign object due to the dent on Deontay Walter's head. That they said that too many more punches could have even killed Deontay Wilder. The possibility, oh yes, the WBC, yes, should be fined and should be tried in court because the possibility that they were in on it. Because, like I said, the gloves Tyson Fury used had a partnership with the WBC, and they said that the Nevada Athletics Commission, everyone could be in on it. Bob Arum, or should I say Slob Arum. By the way, I hope Terrence Crawford leaves now that his fight ended in his victory and he's still the WBO champion. Terrence Crawford needs to leave Slob Arum because he's also involved, because he's also Tyson Fury's promoter. He's involved as well. Do you have anything to say about this, including any added information that I have not brought up, Mr. Coach?
Oh, okay. Well, here's a whole story, man, with the gloves. See,
All
what
right.
happened, man? YouTuber by the name of Young Pharaoh, he discovered that,
Yeah, there's my boy right there.
Oh, yeah, I want to shout out him because he was one of the other people who brought it up.
Yeah, well, he's a YouTuber, man, and he discovered that the left glove of Tyson Fury, was flopping around. And that's kind of strange because boxing gloves shouldn't do that. It shouldn't flop around when you throw punches. Well, come to find out, to make a long story short, Tyson Fury, was pulling his hands down into the lace part of the glove. So now when you throw your hooks, you throw a hook or you throw like a jab, straight jab to the face, instead of getting hit with the glove is going to actually flip up when you throw your punches. But the bare knuckle is, one only thing that's separating the knuckle and your hand is just the laces. So you're able to throw impactful punches with the left hand, and then in the right glove, people start figuring out that, he didn't have any padding in the right glove because you can see his hand imprint. I mean, I don't, I give it an analogy, but then it might not be appropriate right now, but you can definitely see his print, his handprint. So he was actually hitting Deontay Wilder with these punches. Now, here go the problem. Okay. And I'm going to take y'all back some. Now, Deontay Wilder, he's not the first person to complain about somebody cheating in the ring. Okay. He's not, but, people trying to make it seem like, oh, he's this black man that's just making excuses. He's just complaining. Well, he need to box. He need to go back and take his craft seriously. All of this stuff. People, like Miguel Cotto, he complained when Antonio Margarito put plaster Paris in the gloves, where you put this powder on your wraps, and then when your hands sweat, the powder get hard and make your wraps hard as a brick. So when you punch your opponent, the damage is increased by 10 times. Like, you had Miguel Cotto complaining about this. The whole Louis Resto and Panama Lewis story. That was way back in the day. When a guy took the pad, not the gloves, and beat Billy Collins to a pulp, and then Billy Collins ended up committing suicide. So this stuff has been going on for a long time. Well, Tyson Fury, he's got a history of it. Okay, he had a sparring partner named Nicholas Asbury that was sparring with him, and after a sparring session, Nick went and got the gloves that Tyson Fury used. Well, the gloves didn't have any padding in it. Okay, like the padding and the foam was coming out of the damn gloves. So Nicholas Asbury, put a video up saying, hey, this dude done took the padding out the glove. Well, he confronted Tyson Fury and Ben Davison about this. And they said, well, we didn't mean anything by it, man. We just want to give Tyson Fury some confidence. So you damn near put a man's life in danger because you wanted to give Tyson Fury some confidence. Well, you could have killed that guy. You could have fucked him up. You could have killed him. You could have messed his career up. See, getting punched with bare knuckles, man, it's no joke, especially with fighters that actually know how to place punches. Like the average Joe Blow in a street fight, he don't really know how to place the punches. But a boxer or a mixed martial artist, they know how to place the punches to do the maximum damage. So, you got to think, okay, well, why is everybody getting upset with Deontay Wilder? It's that whole thing that, well, you're getting paid millions of dollars, just shut up and fight. You're going to get a bunch of money.
It's just like what Laura Ingram says with LeBron James, shut up and dribble and stuff. Don't talk about injustices going on and stuff like that, even though there's actual injustice going on, including with Deontay Wilder. He's a victim of injustice. Yeah, he may be a million. The racism does not stop because of wealth. All right,
Just
the
cause, just 'cause
it's
you
not
get
a
rich.
class war. It's not a class war. It's not a gender war. It's a race war. It's not a war between good and evil. It is a race war. You're hated because of your race. Matter of fact, you're hated even more because you're a rich black man who makes more money than the poorest white man. That's when they really hate you and try to sabotage you, because the system was not created to help black people become rich. It was meant to help white people become rich, become strong, become intelligent. But when they see black people do the same stuff and the white person is not doing, the white racists get mad. That's why they attack people like LeBron James and Deontay Wilder.
Well, and
Yeah,
then too,
they'll
man,
say
when you have it, see, with okay, and I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna finish giving you the synopsis of it. So okay, so guys, so Deontay Wilder, he he complains about this. Of course, everybody, pretty much getting on him, saying, well, if he gonna do it, he should sue, or hey, you got to fight him again anyway. Stop complaining. Well, they said all this, but Teofimo Lopez fights Vasily Lomachenko, European white fighter. Now, Vasily
Yeah,
Lomachenko comes
Ukrainian.
out and says, "Oh, well, I had a shoulder injury. That's the reason why Teofimo Lopez beat me. My shoulder, my shoulder." So, he's got all these photographs of, his shoulder and all this other mess. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, so, well, I mean, Lomachenko, well, he's got the pictures of the shoulder. So, I mean, yeah, it was legit. So, everybody give this white guy a pass, but then you got Deontay Wilder here. Well, we got photograph proof that the man gloves, wasn't on his hand. We got proof. It's there. I mean, how do you explain that? Yeah, and, we got proof that, Ricky Hatton was pulling the gloves down. I mean, how do you explain that? All that stuff's it's on tape.
Yeah,
But
you
but
got
you, but you
video
mean to say
and evidence. You got
but you
evidence.
you mean to tell me that Vasily Lomachenko, he can have an excuse, he can get a pass why he lost the fight, but Deontay Wilder can't say anything. So it's one set of rules for black athletes, and it's one set of rules for white and other. And then you got Teofimo Lopez, of course. Hey, Deontay Wilder, stop being a pussy. Now he wouldn't say this in Deontay Wilder's face. He wouldn't say it. And
No,
this the same guy. This the same guy, Teofimo Lopez, the same guy who was sitting here crying and talking about, he got mental health issues and all this other stuff, crying over this female. But these people now, they're trying to say Deontay Wilder's crazy. Deontay Wilder got mental issues. Why? I mean, why the fuck do Deontay Wilder have mental issues, right? Because he
don't look
called
like
out
he has
something.
mental issues to me. No, it's
And
because
Tyson Fury.
you want to get away with. They want to get away with cheating. They know that it's hard to beat black athletes these days. Hey, real Eric Collins, I'm glad you're still here. Hey, if you want to come on in, just like the link to the StreamYard is still in the chat room. If you want to come on in, and this is for anyone, Stephanie, anyone who wants to come on in, the link is in the chat room. Matter of fact, just in case. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong link. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I'm going to put the link in again for anyone who else wants to come on in and put in their 2 cents in the on the here in the video in the live stream. Yes, I didn't know about that, Stephanie. But yeah, anyone who wants to come on in, make their 2 cents about it. There's the link to come on in. I'll keep putting it multiple times, but this is for anyone. But yeah, like I said, they want to cheat. They realize that it's becoming harder and harder to beat black athletes fairly, because for years the black athlete has been considered the top athlete of the country since the days of Jesse Owens, Jack Johnson, Muhammad Ali, people like Joe Frazier, George Foreman. These are boxers. But then Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Dr. J, those are basketball players. The athletes who raised up the fist, because they get the biggest name recognition than even some white athletes. They have, because they have to train so hard to be the best just because they're black, that they've actually used that as motivation to actually win championships. Same with the Williams sisters, Same with Tiger Woods, even though that whole Kablation situation. Same with any black athlete, and not just the black American athlete, but black athletes from around the world, the Caribbeans, Africans, whatsoever. We have been conquering Pacific sports and stuff like that. Mike Tyson and stuff like that. And it's pissed off a lot of racists, especially a lot of racist white Americans who want to see a white athlete, no matter what country. See, another thing is with boxing, a lot of white American fighters have left the sport of boxing to go to other combat sports like MMA. Even though there's black athletes in MMA, white combat athletes dominate the sport of MMA. They don't dominate the sport of boxing no more. The only really white Caucasian top athlete is the white Europeans, whether it be the British or the Eastern Europeans, with the exception of Caleb Plant, an athlete I do actually like, who is a white American champion. But I'm also starting to notice that he doesn't get the praise of Tyson Fury. I was like, there's your white American champion, but you don't praise him. You praise this racist cheater. But then that's the thing. He's a racist. He's a racist and he's a cheater. He represents the racist Americans who are cheaters and who are manipulators. I'm talking about Tyson Fury. See, they want this great white hope. That's what these racist whites want. They want this great white hope in sports. And for years, and then if they can't get a great white hope, they'll get a non-great white hope. I mean, to be the great white hope against, as long as it's against a black athlete like Manny Pacquiao. See, Manny Pacquiao was the adopted great white hope until his butt behind got kicked by people like Tim Bradley and then later Floyd Mayweather, two black athletes. And then he made the excuse that it was a shoulder injury, just like Vasily Lomachenko. Yeah, he made that excuse too before Vasily made that excuse. It was Manny Pacquiao that came up with that excuse first because he couldn't stand the fact that he lost to Floyd Mayweather. Whether you love or hate Floyd Mayweather, the fact that Pacquiao still to this day cannot stand the fact that he lost, he made that excuse, and that's why he was denied his rematch. And then the right racist and all the other anti-black people, non-black people who hate black people, they were pissed when Pacquiao lost. So now they've resort to cheating and stuff like that. And it's not just the athletes themselves. Some of these promoters, sanctioning committees and stuff like that, they hate black athletes too. So they do all kinds of schemes, especially the WBC. They'll do all kinds of schemes to cheat out black fighters, not give them credit and stuff like that. But here's the thing. Black athletes ain't the only one that's talking about the Deontay Wilder situation. You have people like Klitschko and even this guy named Vinny Vaz that says that Tyson Fury is a druggie and a cheater and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, Vinny Paz. He said, he just said that Tyson Fury hangs out with these muscle dudes and, said that, he's been, because he's been tested positive before. So he can see, hey.
Hey, can you turn up your audio real quick?
Oh, hold on, man. Put my phone in the wrong spot. He said it was a former fighter named Pazienza, Vinny Pazienza. And he said that Tyson Fury was hanging out with these dudes that are known drug cheats, these muscle bodybuilders. Okay. And, Tyson Fury is friends with those guys. And, of course, he was looking for an edge of different kind of things because it's not the first time Tyson Fury has been accused of peg usage. And back in the past, he was also popped for it. So that's just a little tidbit of information.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Tom Disney did a video on it about him cheating the Vinny Paz interview. I think he did a video on it.
Yeah.
He did. He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. So yes, I actually saw a little bit of that video. Maybe not the whole thing, but a little bit about that Tyson Fury was messing with some of these people, and then he got hooked onto some of these drugs, and they almost destroyed the season. When Tyson Fury first got popped, I heard that it almost destroyed his career. It almost led him to suicide, and it was Deontay Wilder that lifted him back up and tried to, get him a fight, because Deontay Wilder wasn't getting big fights because they were afraid of Deontay Wilder, especially people like Anthony Joshua and stuff. And then here's how Deontay Wilder was repaid with all the antics that Tyson Fury has caused. That's how he repaid Deontay Wilder, by cheating him out of his belt. And now Deontay Wilder is at the Tyson Fury doesn't want to honor the third fight clause. And so what's going to happen is Tyson Fury is trying to get out of the fight so he can go straight to Anthony Joshua and try to do the same thing. So because he wants to become undisputed champion, he knows to do that he has to get the other 3 sanctioned bodies championship belts. But Deontay Wilder is trying to say that he's threatening to go to court unless, of course, he gets that third fight. So I want to know what y'all think about that.
You don't have to fight him to prove yourself, because like all that cheating you were doing in the fight to beat that dude, you could have killed that man in the ring. Like, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. I don't know why these fighters be going through short areas to get these belts and stuff. Like Deontay Wilder, he's a really good fighter, and for him to do that, that's just a scumbag move. When he tried to help you and stuff by giving you a fight, you really should be you really should be praising him. And it goes to show you, because they did this in another fight too. I forgot what fight it was because it just happened. The Tank kid, yeah, the lady, some Latin lady talking crap about Tank when the knockout he did. I forgot the Mexican fighter name and stuff, but
Leo Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Leo Santa Cruz. Yeah, because it was a glorious knockout that he gave him, and she was talking all trash to him and stuff about him doing it. It goes to show you that they hate black athletes so much they'll go through anything to try to bring them down, even though they ain't cheating. They just going out there to box just like the rest of these other boxers is. Hell, if you want to win, be the better boxer. The best man gonna win.
And that's the thing. It's because a lot of the black athletes are winning. Right now, black people do have the most, maybe not the most, but they do have a lot of championships in boxing. People like Anthony Joshua, people like Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, people like the Chalo brothers. And I'm not just saying black Americans, I'm saying black people in general, regardless. Like Anthony Joshua is black British. You have the Chalos, who are black Americans, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, Gary Russell Jr., Javante Tank Davis. These are all black athletes who have belts. Why? Because they fought the fight. They fought the champions. All right? Like, why don't you prove that you could beat them, and then maybe y'all can win titles and stuff.
It goes to show you that some of these white athletes hate black people so much they'll take any chances. They'll risk their whole life and their whole body just to beat a black person. So that goes to show you that some of them don't take the time and they'll take the time and the determination that athletes try to get better. Some of them will take shortcuts and stuff.
Yeah, using steroids and foreign objects and stuff. That's a risk. You could get killed, or someone else could get killed, and then you're going to be looked at as a criminal.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead.
With Deontay Wilder, to them, Deontay Wilder's a nigga. Okay.
Yeah. No matter how much money you get, you're still gonna be a nigga. That's what they say in their mind.
All right.
Man's life is expendable. Okay. That's what it is. His life is expendable. And you notice, man, they always tell black people this. They always tell us this stuff. Hey, well, you know what? I don't know why you're complaining. I don't know why. I don't know what you're doing complaining. Wait, why? So I mean, so everybody else can have an issue, right? Everybody. I mean, think about it. I mean, damn, Deontay Wilder, he can't get sick. Okay, he fought in one fight with a broken arm. Nope, can't have a broken arm. That's an excuse. Okay, well, Deontay Wilder, when he was going through the issues with his daughter, or he just using that as an excuse, you know. So his daughter can't be sick, he can't be sick, he can't be happy. I mean, you know, if you go out there and bought him a nice car, okay, then he's styling and profiling, but then you know, Mikey Garcia can go out and have a fleet of cars. Oh man, that's good what he doing with his money. Wait a minute. And so
Mm.
Deontay Wilder came by nice things, right? We always got to have, you know, all the most ridiculous shit. We got to have the worst of the worst. Okay, we got to be humble. You know, we can't have nothing special. You know, we can't have nothing great. You know, everything this damn man do. Okay, they criticize. You know, they were saying he ain't saying nothing about George Floyd. Well, the man comes up, you know, puts a video out about George Floyd. Oh well, you know, he just using this as a, you know, he trying to clout chase, trying to get some publicity. And you know, you got niggas saying this shit. Goofy, no brain having Negroes saying this bullshit. You know, like, come on, man. Come on. I mean, y'all making these goofy ass videos about the man ain't saying that. Okay, then, you know, hey, well, I don't know why Deontay Wilder's so quiet about the Tyson Fury. See. If Deontay Wilder ain't saying that, then how come the LDBC, you know, his damn chilies? Wilder need to say something. So the man come out and say something. Oh, well, you know, Wilder making too many excuses. So what the fuck can a black man, what the fuck can we do?
You
What the
can't
fuck?
do
I mean,
nothing
what?
wrong.
Can't drive
They,
a
they,
fucking cars,
they can't
can't
do
have a
nothing.
nice car, can't live in a fucking nice house. I mean, you can't do shit. Can't go to the store. What the fuck can we do without being criticized or harassed, man? Shit pisses me off.
You can't do nothing without these motherfuckers questioning you like you in the interrogation room and shit. So they're going to show you that white people and these other people in different cultures hate us so much they don't want to see us with anything. You might see this dude with a nice car, a nice house. What type of drugs did he sell? What type of people he robbing? Not all black people are doing it. Some of us are living legitimate lives, trying to raise our families and stuff. If we're doing the be piling on that brother, that dude is a boxer, man. His job is to go in there and box and provide for his family. He ain't doing nothing wrong. I don't see nothing wrong about that.
Yeah. I'm like, Deontay Wilder is trying to prove he's the best fighter. A lot of black people are trying to do what they have to do to survive, especially in a system that wants black people dead or at least in prison or destroyed. So yeah, we're doing all, but yeah, the racists who hate black people have something to say, and I say screw them. All right, you get to complain, but we don't. See, they complain that they're afraid that if we do prosper, then it's gonna make them look bad, and then they hate black prospering. They hate black people being successful, especially when they are not successful. When the system is made to make us not successful, but we end up successful anyway, and they don't end up successful, then yeah, they really hate that. They really hate that. That's why they get real angry and stuff. But I think that's all I have to say about the Tyson Fury. Maybe when I hear more stuff about it, there is a possibility of a court case. But oh wait, someone is backstage. I'm gonna bring him in. It's the real Aaron Collins. Thank you for coming in, the real Aaron Collins. How's
Hey,
it
what's going
going?
on? What's going on, Jdawg? Long
Hey,
time no
what's
see,
up?
bro.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. What's up, Eric Johnson, coach?
What's up? How you doing?
Yeah, I think I've seen y'all somewhere before too. Yeah, I hear y'all talking a little bit about athletics and about Tyson Fury. I'm not too versed on it. I mean, I did hear that there was a situation between him and Deontay Wilder, that like Deontay was like cheated or something like that.
Yeah, he was screwed over because of the gloves. And there's actual pictures and evidence. I forgot to mention the photographer who took the pictures. Notice they went after him and told him to remove his photos and stuff because it was exposing the evidence of Tyson Fury's cheating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We also got to realize that professional boxing, it's no longer the innocent sport it used to be. It's basically ran by organized crime now and stuff too. People are taking dives and all that, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, in the past, it was run by the mafia and stuff like that. Now you have
Okay.
these sanctioning bodies and these promotions like Top Rank and PBC that tries to run the events, although they are rumors that the mob and stuff may be behind stuff like that. But now the mob is not as influential anymore because I think there has been some regulations from
Yeah,
this.
all the RICO statutes and stuff from the 70s, with them, like they can criminalize one person and connect them to like a major crime family. So they created the RICO statute to take them down like that.
Yeah, and stuff like that. But but yes, you got the WBC and stuff. That Soliman guy is doing all a bunch of dirt over in
his fat ass.
Yeah,
his fat ass. Can't stand him, man. Can't stand. He's all for the Mexicans, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the thing, the WBC is stationed in Mexico. The only one that's sanctioned body that's stationed in America is the IBF. And and another thing is, this is the same sanctioned body that decided to create that stinking Black Lives Matter for the Tyson Fury Roy Jones Jr. Circus that's supposed to happen this month. Supposed to be a couple days after Thanksgiving, I believe is what the circus is supposed to be.
They can throw that bill in the trash. Nobody don't want that because it really don't mean nothing. When you got Black Lives Matter as a group mean out here with white supremacist groups, they ain't really doing nothing for black people. So how could you? Why would you want to represent a belt like that?
Yeah, it looks kind of stupid. It looks extremely kind of stupid. But yeah, I want to get off the topic. There's at least one more topic I wanted to bring up. Thank you for coming over. Make sure y'all subscribe to Combat Sport, CSH Combat Sports. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. I'm going to leave the link to his channel once again. Thank you for showing up. I will leave the link to all the guests who have channels and content in the description box later on when I edit some of the stuff. And I need to welcome the real Collins back in. Welcome back in. We're about to get on to our next topic, and that involves with the election and what we need to do as a people now that the election is officially over. What needs to happen next? So, as you know, the election with Joe Biden versus Donald Trump has happened. Jim Crow Joe versus Donald Trump has happened. I call him Ronald McDonald Trump has happened. So it's ended with Biden winning, and not really much by a landslide. Matter of fact, the Democrats didn't really win anything by a landslide like they were hoping, because a lot of black people, first of all, didn't show up and vote. And why should they? Because, as you should know, they weren't promising black people anything. They weren't promising us reparations. So people like Tariq and Jason said, well, we're not going to vote. And guess what? And also there was people who not black, the progressives, that said that they were not going to vote because they weren't promising stuff like Medicare for all and stuff like that. So even though the Democrats still won, they didn't win by this big landslide that they were hoping. There was no blue wave, because it turned out the Democrats actually lost a lot of seats in both the Senate and White House. Doug Jones lost his Senate seat, and the only way the Democrats can get a majority is if they win the Georgia runoffs this January. Meanwhile, even though the Democrats are the House of Representatives majority, which means if voted, Nancy Pelosi will still be the Speaker of the House if they don't decide to vote someone else to be the Democratic leader, they still lost some seats, and they still lost a lot of seats. Because in the past, when they got the Senate back, the House of Representatives back in 2018, they were like at 230, 240, 250 seats, and the Republicans were at 180, 190. This year, once all the votes in the House are counted, the Democrats will be lucky to be at 220 something but the Republicans are going to be at maybe 200, 210 something, because they won a lot of seats from the Democrats. So I wanted to bring that out. But still, Biden still won and beat Trump. So Trump is saying that's fraud is going on. You just mentioned from Information Man that it was all came down to some of these black communities. Notice they picked our communities to be because they believe that if Trump loses, they hope that a backlash will happen to get us killed. So we need to start defending ourselves, preparing to fight back against any backlash from the anti-black racists and stuff. I don't want to prepare. We need to prepare because,
Definitely.
yeah, these next 4 years is going to be interesting.
We've been needing to do that for the longest. I mean, the way I look at it, it shouldn't take an election for us to defend ourselves, but we should be doing that on general principle because we live in a system of white supremacy, a system of organized white supremacy that has always had a vested interest in our extinction to begin with. So
that's correct.
Whether it's Biden or Trump in office, the way I look at it, they're both two sides of the same coin, two different sides of the same coin. And then the Democratic Party has always been the go-to party for black people for the longest, yet the Democrats are worse than the Republicans, to be honest with you. Really, if you look at it, the Democrats are just as racist. But
they hide their racism through
exactly.
Policies.
See, one thing I could respect about Trump is that he's that snake who will tell you he's the snake. He say, "I'm a snake and I'm gonna bite your ass."
He's the wolf.
I mean, he's that.
He's the wolf. He's the bear. Yeah. He's the lion. He's the tiger. He's the guy that he is strong enough to take you on head on. He's the T-Rex.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. He's the predator that'll tell you he's a predator. Whereas someone like Hillary Clinton, when she was running, she's the type of predator that'll, oh, hey, come on in. And as soon as you turn your back, we'll rip you apart.
Yeah, that's right. That's the snake, the fox, the chimpanzee, what's another one? The coyote, the hyena. That's what the Democrats are. They're the sneaky ones that have to use trickery to get their food and stuff like that. So, yes, they use things like the crime bill. Like they say it's a bill to stop criminals, but notice that it's black people who are targeted the heaviest by the crime bill and stuff like that. They won't say Pacific race, but it will be a Pacific race that gets targeted the most. Meanwhile, your Republican, he will say that it's the Mexican rapist. He will say it's a Muslim land because it's the Muslim terrorists. It's the Black Lives Matters and stuff. That's what your open, overt Republican racist. Your Democrat will say, we're bringing immigrants in and stuff, but in actuality, the only real reason why they're bringing more immigrants in because they need a voting base to undermine black people. They want them to take away jobs from black people who are descendants of African Americans or black slaves.
Yeah, basically, what they're trying to do is they're trying to pad their numbers. That's pretty much what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to get many numbers as they can by getting these immigrants on their side and stuff. And I think that's why Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris.
Yes, they know that black people are finally waking up. I'm glad. This is what I'm happy about some black people. At least 40% of us are finally waking up. We have now, it used to be 20%, but now 40% of us is waking up to going against both sectors of racism, the Republicans and we're now on the path of going against this entire government, where some of us are finally waking up. We're supporting our own businesses. We're trying to support each other. Now it's the matter of can we get the other 60% to get on board. And we don't need the whole 60% of we just need a few of those, like maybe 20% of them to get on board with us, because we know we're not going to save all of us. All of us not going to be saved, but we're hoping that at least enough of us will be saved so that our population could be able to grow and do things. And
and I want to say something about that too. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of us is waking up. But I gotta put the blame on some of these older people in our community too about voting and stuff. Cause I ride around to my grandmother's neighborhood and stuff. All I see is Biden Harris signs, Biden Harris signs, Biden Harris signs. And I want to ask her so bad, like, why you got this sign in here? They ain't doing nothing for our people, but the problem I got with these older folks in our community is that I know they come from like an older generation where they didn't have the right to vote, but throughout the years, further and further after the civil rights movement, what person has ever represented black people in a political stance that actually helped us like get forward and stuff? I know we have probably a certain amount of them that actually helped us, but like who actually made a major impact besides these coons and stuff trying to get in with these other cultures and stuff and stand close with their white master and stuff like Roland Martin, Van Jones on podcast with him crying and stuff, but you got a lot of them and some of these older folks when you try to tell them like I don't feel like voting and none of them ain't doing nothing for our people. Oh, you need to vote. We couldn't vote back in the day. So in my day we could vote. Y'all can do anything now. I'm like, yeah, but look times have changed and y'all know that. Look what the young generations is going through now. Police brutality. They having all these stupid images talking about get your booty out to vote. That's the first time ever I ever seen the political party of Republicans and Democrats use strippers to tell people to get out and go vote. So that goes to show you that they using this by any means necessary to get the black people to vote. They ain't really putting people in positions who actually represent black people in a positive manner. They getting these coons out here and they keep showing these other commercials and stuff to try to get us off balance. Keep showing these Joe Biden and Kamala Harris commercials and stuff. They're both evil. They ain't doing nothing for black people, especially Joe Biden. And all the people need to realize that we signed that crime bill specifically for black people back in '94 because I was born in '94. Y'all know that he don't care about black people. He's just a creepy old white person that'll slide his way into the White House, and that's what he did. By him getting Kamala Harris to say that she's black, that's how they got most of these black people to vote for him.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Eric, you made a point, man. I forgot all about that stripper fiasco, and that was their way of trying to appeal to black men. I forgot all about that too. They did that, and then not to mention Biden making statements like, "If you don't vote for me, you ain't black." I'm like,
yeah, like you don't know nothing about you don't know nothing about black people culture. You're white. Y'all motherfuckers ain't been through what we've been through.
Oh, do you remember the statement that he said that poor kids are just as smart as white kids? And I'm like, you do know there's such thing as poor white kids, and you do know there's such thing as rich black kids. That shows you right there whether it's because of his dementia or it's the fact that he thinks that black kids are all poor and stupid and stuff like that. And see that's the mindset of white men, the mindset of white racists.
And you got a majority of their people on food stamps more than black people. So
yeah,
the stereotype of
the older generation, the sellout, the boule, and stuff like that, and your Kamala Harris supporters. Yes, our ancestors fought. The civil rights people fought for us to have the right to vote. And the reason why people like Obama and Kamala won is because they represent civilization. We want to see more of us in these positions of power. We on that. Okay, we did the whole representation and getting the right to vote. But I think what our ancestors also fought for is that when we do vote, that we get something out of it. And that our politicians especially if they look like us, do something for our community. That's the next thing we need to happen. We want actual policies that's going to actually benefit our people. Other communities, when they vote their representatives, when the Hispanics vote people like Alexandria Cortez, AOC, whatever they call her, they want to make sure that she actually does things for her community because she looks like her community. and she says what she wants to do for Latinos and stuff like that. They're not, and they're proud to say that they're Latinos. They're not the people like the congressional black whack con artists who try to step away from black issues and focus on issues with immigrants and stuff like that.
You mean
And
the Congressional Black Caucus, like I call it? The
I call
Congressional
it
Black
the
Caucus.
congressional whack con artists.
I call it the Coon Patrol.
I call them professional, the professional coon Congress, the professional.
Yeah. Speaking of coons, the homie LB gonna be doing at the end of the year, he's gonna be doing a Coon Awards show honoring these coons this year. So
Yeah,
if y'all want to
I think it was LB or whoever is trying to do that. I think they're trying to do what Tariq did, but they probably won't get the big stage, especially because there's no venues open because of the pandemic. But yeah, they're trying to do some kind of award show. I hope I get to see it. I hope there's a way I'll get to see it because Tariq did something similar a long time ago where he dishonored a bunch of coons by giving them coon awards and stuff. It was called the Plantation Awards and stuff, where that was not really meant to celebrate. It was really meant to mock them. That's what Tariq Rashid did.
It was the Coon Train Award. It was the Coon Train Award.
Yeah, it was called that, but they also called it the Plantation Award. It had two names. And yeah, that's what Tariq did. And then he actually went on Vlad and actually gave one of those awards to the actual person that won it, and that was Tommy Sotomayor. But then,
oh yeah, I saw that one. That was the one where he confronted him. Matter of fact, when that happened, it was like behind the scenes because Tommy was actually in town to do his interview, and when Tariq showed up, all hell broke loose. I actually did a long time ago.
I seen the one with Ricky Dillard. He had like it was a statue, like a award with like the butter biscuits and stuff. It was like really cool for these coons to get nominated for that.
I think I heard about that. But now I want to get back to the subject. Now that Kamala and Biden have been elected, first I want to get to that part later. Biden, if he wants to do stuff, he's going to have to win that Senate. See, what's happening is if the Democrats lose the Georgia runoffs, the Republicans get majority of the Senate again, and don't think that Mitch McConnell will not be elected majority leader again, and don't think he is going to try to sabotage Biden, but kind of rightfully so, because we don't trust neither Biden or Mitch McConnell or Donald Trump. See, Trump wants to do all this stuff for other people. See, Biden has to also understand, and same with Kamala's, is that if he don't get that Senate majority and if he doesn't persuade the courts, because the courts have been stacked with conservative, Republican-leaning judges, thanks to Ronald McDonald Trump, Biden's not going to be able to do much anyway, even if he wants to, because he has to deal with being challenged for constitutional laws by the courts because Trump stacked them. And then if he doesn't get a Senate majority, the only thing Biden can do is his executive orders. But even that can also be challenged by the Supreme Court or any of the federal courts if they deem them unconstitutional and if they get challenged. That's why Biden is trying to win the Democrats are trying to win the majority Senate so that they can use the Senate to approve judge appointees to expand the courts so it'll be more in favor of Biden. Also, Biden knows, and the Democrats know, that if those two seats are won by Democrats, it will be a 50-50 split. 50 Republicans, 50 Democrats. Now, that will still consider the Democrats' majority, even though it's really a tie. But the reason why I say that is because if they were to get into a situation where they put in a vote and they tie, 50 Republicans say nay, 50 Democrats say yay, that's a tie, 50-50 tie. guess who comes in as the tiebreaker? The vice president. Who's going to be the vice president? Mrs. Kamala Harris. The Democrats need those 2 seats to really do anything. Otherwise, they can only do but so little until the 2022 midterm, when they can use that to try to expand their majority, to expand their numbers. Now, my next thing I want to talk about is, what do we need to do to make sure we still get our agenda across now that they're in elective office?
One thing I think, the one thing, like I said, and I will always say this, but I'm really proud of Ice Cube for what he did with his contract for Black America, and he's also stated that he's going to continue to push that, and I'm in support of him pushing it. And I think we should all do maybe something similar. I don't know what, but at least support it, because it's too many. For one thing about us, we already know that they have a vested interest in our disunity. They've had that for the last 400, 500 years. I mean, we got that down packed. When are we going to come together and stop criticizing each other for things? I mean, because people just came out on Cube saying, oh, he's not political enough. He needs to stay in his lane and stuff. At least he did something, which is more than what I can say for a lot of people. I mean, they didn't do nothing. At least he did that.
Yeah, a lot of these dudes ain't political, but you got Negroes like T.I., you know what I'm saying about what T.I. be doing his political stuff up there looking like a fake Malcolm X, but you can't pay your employees when you get your businesses.
Here's the thing about that. When Ice Cube was putting up a contract for Black America, he was trying to do a deal for both parties, as long as the deal helped Black people. He was talking, he didn't say he was endorsing a candidate. He was saying, regardless of who wins the election, whoever won decides to do something for Black people is the person he's going to work with, or at least going to give some ideas of what should be done. Sometimes you may have to negotiate with the enemy. U.S. negotiate with one of their biggest enemies, China, all the time for trade agreements on supplies and stuff like that. Why? Because the last thing both countries wants to happen is World War III.
Yeah, that's bad for business, because China needs the U.S. and the U.S. needs China.
Yeah,
because America don't make nothing like they used to.
Yes, because both have resources, and both also go to Africa for resources. So the last thing you need to do is piss off even the enemy.
Exactly, because
of a war.
China has had it in for America for a long time. So it's like America is basically treading really softly right now when it comes to China. Because China is not to be trifled with.
Yes. And the reason why is because China is the number one economy. Now, America is the number one military. That's why China is not ready to go to war just yet, because we still have the most powerful military. But China can create the most powerful military, because by 2050, it's because they have more money than America. America is the number 2 highest economy, but China is number 1, and they have more. And plus, they have more access to resources. That's why they're in Africa right now. We're losing. America is losing ground in Africa. China is gaining ground in Africa and the Caribbean.
But China's also got the backing. They may not be strong militarily speaking, but they've got the backing of Russia, Iran, and North Korea.
That's right. They got those people. And then, of course, they are also afraid of us. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Little sneeze. They're also afraid of the United States. The reason why they're not always already willing to fight with America just yet is because this country has allies too. NATO, which includes the UK, France, Israel, excuse me, India. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. You see, the reason why they're not willing to fight with us yet is because we have allies too. We have Japan, we have India, we have the UK, we have France. The thing is, and yes, they need to get out of Africa, but the Africans have to fight back first. The Africans got to get rid of their traitors, and then they got
Yep, them bootleg leaders they got over there.
But the thing is, the reason why they're not ready to fight with us, yes, is because they still have a weaker military than the United States. And we do have allies with strong militaries. We have Saudi Arabia, we have Israel, we have Japan, we have India, we have the European nations of NATO like the UK, France. So we have allies too. The reason why we're not going after China is because they have allies too. Russia, Iran, Pakistan, and we don't know. It may not be by military strength. It may also be by strategy, guerrilla warfare strategy, and stuff like that. Let's see what happens when they combine their forces. Who has the better allies? And then also you got nuclear weapons. Russia has the most nuclear weapons. We are the second. The United States has the second most nuclear weapons, but the country with the most nuclear weapons is Russia. China, all they have to do is, if they are truly allies with Russia, all they have to do is depend on Russia's nuclear forces. All right, now back to the situation. A little off topic. Let's go back to what we need to do when it comes to getting our agenda across. We need to warn the Democrats and the Republicans that the moment during this administration that they screw us over, that we will vote them out or not participate to help them win in 2022 and 2024. So yes, Biden may have gotten away with the victory, but he's still vulnerable by one thing. He's only had one term. So that means he will not get another term if he does not get the votes. So we need to show Biden that, and number two, the immigrants and stuff like that, they're not heavily voting for the Democrats. You still got Latinos still highly voting for Trump.
Yep, I told you earlier.
Yes, especially in Florida and Texas. So and another thing, so why they keep saying that it's majority black people that black people didn't really show up to vote this year. See, they were lucky. And there may have been rumors of cheating and fraud, finesse. That's what Tariq is saying. The thing is that the Democrats didn't do this big blowout. If black people and Latinos heavily voted for the Democrats this year, there would have been, the Democrats should have won more seats in both the House and Senate, along with voting for Biden. And Biden would have won with an even bigger, larger majority because Trump is so stupid. He messed up so bad. He's an idiot. Besides, how was Trump even able to win in 2016? He's an idiot. He's a
we know how he got it. He made that special phone call to the Russians.
Well, yeah, it could have been because of Russian interference, but also it is because. Hold on. Is anyone echoing? Never mind. The reason why the Democrats did not win in 2016 and why they're not winning in bigger, larger majorities, even though Trump is not capable, is not really competitive, they should have not lost to Trump, is because people are seeing through the Democrats' BS. See, we're not voting in high numbers anymore. A lot of us, because the fact that Obama broke a lot of promises, some of the, and not just black people, but some people in the progressive wing. I want to talk about the civil war between the progressive Democrats and the centrist Democrats. The progressive Democrats didn't show up to vote for Biden either because Biden was not promising Medicare for all, and black people didn't show up because they were not promising reparations. See, the centrist Democrats, who are the real leaders of the Democratic Party, did not make a lot of promises to the votes that they need for a bigger majority of votes. So some of us voted protest vote, meaning we wrote someone else in or sat out. And that's why, and the Democrats are actually losing numbers because, like I said earlier, they lost a lot of seats in the House and Senate. So, and we need to use that as leverage. We need to say, well, you're going to lose more seats if you don't do anything for us. We need to go to Biden's emails, Biden's social media, same with Kamala, and same with their supporters, that if Biden and Karras don't do anything for us between now and 2024, they may not be there for long. And that's what we need to do. Also, we need to come together, like you said earlier. I think it was you that said it, Eric, that we need to come together as a people and start focus on doing things that we can do together without the help of politicians. One thing we can do is support Black-owned businesses, learn how to defend ourselves against violence. We don't need politicians to make policies to do that stuff. We could do that on our own without policies, but it comes with us uniting as a people.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that about my people protecting ourselves, because I'm definitely pro Second Amendment, because I'm a gun owner, and you know, with me being down south in the state of Georgia and stuff, our gun laws are really not that strict. It depends on like where you go, like probably like up north states like New York, New Jersey, and stuff like that. Those people ain't really allowed to own guns up there. Not from what I know from New York and New Jersey gun laws. Because I think in New Jersey they can't have hollow point ammunition in their guns and stuff. So I say this, like with my coworkers, as black women or any woman, but especially a black woman, you need to learn how to shoot. You need to learn how to control a gun. Because I think I'm sorry, let me just finish, brother. I'm sorry about that. I think if more of our people that knew how to handle themselves with like weapons and stuff, we wouldn't be getting messed with and stuff. Because this why these other cultures and other people mess with us. They see certain people in our culture, these coons, these sellouts. They think they can just come in and do what they want with us. But you got real brothers like us on this panel and other people all over the world, and especially in the United States, they ain't gonna take that shit. We're arming ourselves. So, in my perspective, I say get more guns.
Off targets. What it is that, yeah, the racists, they're starting before they come after our strongest. They're going after the soft targets first. They're going for the intersexual kumbaya people. They're going after our elders. They're going after
women, the children.
They're going after our most vulnerable women. Those are the ones that swirl, who are trustworthy to people of other groups too much over black people. That's who they're targeting first because they're the easiest targets. They're not going after people who are more militant, more aware, and more untrustworthy of other groups who are willing to fight back and stuff, because they know the moment they mess with them, they are risking their lives. They are risking being hit, and they got a real fight on their hands, and they don't want a real fight. They want an easy, soft target. Now,
I know. I wanted to say.
Oh, sorry. Would like to say something, Aaron?
Yeah, I wanted to say that I know a thing or two about Georgia gun laws and Texas. I mean, I lived in Texas for 15 years, and Texas and Georgia do have reciprocity. I mean, when I lived in Dallas, I actually carried from there to Atlanta. And the one thing I agree that we definitely need to learn how to properly and safely handle firearms. It's not that we don't know how to, and we just use them too much on each other. And like you being in Georgia, that thing in particular I know about the situations involving King Von and MO3 is that we use them on each other for really simple reasons. It's never nothing really serious, and unfortunately, it's like it doesn't take. We have so much self-hatred that we're willing to kill each other over some of the simplest, stupidest things.
He stepped on my Nikes. He stepped on my Jordans. I'ma kill that nigga. But you ain't out here putting pressure on the dude that killed Trayvon Martin, but you're killing your own brother. And I want to say something else about gun ownership. Like if you see these Negroes in rap music videos handling assault weapons and stuff, and you don't know how to handle it, start off with your handgun. Don't start off with nothing that you don't properly know how to do. Like I never had training when it comes to like hiring weapons and stuff. I'm more of a handgun person, so I know how to handle it and stuff. I don't pick nothing that I don't know how to handle. So like if you're a first time gun owner, especially if you're a black person, you need to get something that you know how to handle. Don't be out here because you see this little nigga in the video with a Draco, an AK-47 with a 100-round drum, but you don't even know how to put a round in the chamber. See, that's why people be coming up missing and having all these gun injuries when it comes to gun ownership, especially with stuff they don't know how to use. So as a people, when it comes to gun ownership, we need to learn how to properly know how to defend ourselves and properly know how to use a gun in a crisis situation.
Well, you also better know how to use the right terminology too, because if you ever get stopped by a cop and you say you have an AK-47, oh, he's gonna instantly get you. Because an AK-47 is a fully automatic assault rifle, which is a military grade weapon, which a civilian is not even supposed to own. The civilian version of that weapon is called a Mag 90 or an MAK 90, and it's a semi-automatic assault rifle. It looks the same as the AK, except that the difference is it's semi-automatic.
Yeah, just shoot one bullet at a time. You don't shoot bullets out constantly.
Exactly.
Because I think in some countries they got like a chip and stuff. They can put in their guns and turn it into a fully automatic weapon. I don't know how they do that. So with the changing of technology when it comes to like the infantry and stuff, you'll be surprised what these guns can do these days.
Yep.
I just tell our people, arm yourselves. So don't wait till the last minute until something happens. And then when you can't do nothing, because Joe Biden talking all this anti-gun stuff, you need to start preparing yourself for the ways you should have been doing it. Ever since Trump came into office. See, the problem with our people is they wait till the last minute to do something. If you're a black woman in America and you ain't a licensed owner and you don't got no felonies or nothing, and you don't have nothing, a taser, pepper spray, a knife or something, you can't depend on the police because you know how the police get down when it comes to black people. You gotta have something that you can defend yourself with in your family. Don't wait till the last minute to do nothing, then be blaming black people like, why is this black man didn't defend me? See, that's what happens. Y'all niggas talking all these gates and stuff in these music videos. That ain't all black people. Some of us actually defend our people in our families. Don't just put one black person in a whole majority of black people. You need to separate that one black person from the rest of us. Y'all don't do that to these other cultures and stuff. Why y'all trying to do that to black people country?
Exactly. Don't give us the benefit of individuality. And I'm glad you said the other thing too about waiting to the last minute, because we're some of the most reactive people on the planet. We're not proactive. We're very reactive. And then when the smoke clears, then everyone goes back to what they was doing.
Yeah, that's how we need to stop falling asleep. That's what's the thing is. We need to stop being the people that falls asleep. We need to be nocturnal. We need to be up and alert. All right. See, some of the reason why they were hoping for Biden to win is because they were so desperate to want to go back to sleep. Not this time. We're a lot more smarter than what happened in the Obama administration. No, some of us who are more aware, we're going to be on the necks of these Democrats and Republicans. We're going to go into their social media accounts. We're going to keep making videos, social media platforms, demanding. We're not going to be the people of begging. We're going to be the people of demanding. All right. And we're not going to expect no saviors to come help us out and stuff like that. To Biden and to Kamala Harris, if you do not do anything for our people, you may not be, or your friends may not be in their positions by 2022 or 2024. And this goes out to their supporters as well. You need to do not fall for their trickery and do not be fooled, because you got people, and do not give up, because you got some people that's saying that now that they're in office that we need to give up. Oh no, we need to get off their neck. Oh no, we're not going to do that. No, not anymore. It ain't the Obama administration. We're going to act. Yeah, we're going to see what the moment we see effery, you got right now, they're saying they're going to do stuff for immigrants. Did y'all see the woman from Massachusetts said that we're going to do this for immigrants and stuff, and a lot of black people went on her social media platform and called her out, and we called out the Democrats on that chat room and said, what about black people? No, you're not going to do anything for us. And you can try to get as many immigrants to try to undermine us. All we gotta do is go see what the other side. We'll go to our enemies to see on the other side to see to the Republicans to see what they got, just to undermine the immigrants if they don't do anything specifically for black people. That's what we need to start. We need to start. We can't just only go to the Democrats. We need to see what other parties have for us, and we also need to learn what we could do for ourselves, by ourselves, without the help of politicians.
And that's what Cube was addressing and outlining in his contract with Black America, is that
that's right.
They use certain little slick words like minority and stuff like that. That's another way for us to take a back seat. They want to help everyone else. Say, well, we're helping minorities. Okay, we didn't say minorities and we didn't say people of color. That's another thing he outlined. They like to use people of color. And so they basically put us in a little rainbow coalition, but he made it specifically clear that he was talking about ADOS people born here in the United States of America.
Yeah, and I use the term foundational Black American, but yes, we are the same. Whether we call foundational Black America or ADS, let's just say it, Black people. Ice Cube was specifically talking about Black Americans, Black people in general. And Stephanie, you are on point. We need to go after. See, if we are going to vote, we need to start focusing on these local politicians. We need to go after them too, because the local governments, they can affect us more than the federal government. So we don't just go after the federal government. We need to go after the state government, and we need to go after the local governments as well. So you are right on the money, Stephanie Dews. And that is, we need to go after every politician of every party that you either going to do for us, or some of you may not have jobs. And that was what Tariq and them was talking about. Tariq and Jason Black. And yes, we are Black people. All right. We don't want to hear this minority coalition, this Black and brown coalition, because other people of color don't like Black people. It ain't just white people that don't like, or white racists that don't like Black people. You got other groups. You have Hispanics, you have Asians, you have Arabs who don't like Black people. So we are foundational Black Americans. We are ADOS. We are Black people. You are going to do specifically for us like you do for other groups, or you may not be in office for a long time.
That's how they get down. They try to put everybody else in and leave Black people out. And I'm glad the brother Ice Cube said all Black people, because you had those bitches on the, I don't know, it was like Fox Soul. It was like some show with like Vivica A. Fox. They were getting on.
That was Fox Soul. That was Fox Soul with him, Vivica Fox, and Lisa Ray. Yeah, they was going at them, but they were on some.
They was like, what you gonna do for Black women? Then Q said, Black women is a part of Black people. So what is y'all talking about? We want Pacific things, but shit, we can't. If we get our reparations, then we can break down the Pacific. You can't just put everything on just like we need this, and that. At first, we need reparations, then we can break down everything else. That's why I get tired. That's why I get tired of women like that trying to go up against like the Black man who actually doing something, who actually standing up for their people and stuff. They gotta just bring the man down.
Those are your ginger war starters. You got Black men and Black women who are your ginger war starters. People like your Tommy Sotomayor and people like those women on Fox Soul. Those are your ginger war starters. Those are the people that want to help the racists separate Black men from Black women. Now, yes, are there specific needs specifically for black women? Yes, and we hope that you do get something. But when Ice
Q
Cube
narrowed it
talks
down.
about black people, when Ice Cube was talking about black people, he was talking about the black diaspora. He was talking about all black people.
Yeah.
He's talking about specifically black Americans, but he included black men, women, and children. That Fox Soul interview was disgusting, and I think it was very divisive because they were on some bitter black woman trip. They just wanted something specifically for them. They were being selfish, and they wanted him to pander and cater to their little effery, their little mad tiffs and stuff like that. But I'm glad he didn't give in to them.
They
Yeah.
knew what he was talking about. They were just trying to be sweet.
Fox Soul is a disgrace.
I
How
ain't even
what they did to Farrakhan, what they did to Farrakhan and all that, and even what they did to other people and stuff like that. That's why no one and Fox Soul, they're owned by the Fox Corporation, the same Fox Corporation that owns racist Fox News and stuff. So yeah, they realized the reason why they created it is because they realized they don't have a black base because their racism has driven their black any potential for a black base away. So now they want to create this new thing called Fox Soul because they want to. They realize that they're losing ground in the media wars to other companies, media conglomerates like Disney and Warner Brothers. So, or Warner Media is what some people call them. So now they realize the importance of a black audience. So now they created Fox Soul to cater to the black audience. They're basically what Viacom is doing with BET. Create content for that caters to black people, but at the same time they're putting in an agenda that's not good for black people. And remember, they didn't want to put up a speech by Farrakhan. So I never took Fox Soul seriously. They're no one subscribe to them.
As long as we're not doing nothing too serious, as long as we're involved in a bunch of buffoonery and buck dancing, yeah, they'll take it on. But when you start talking militantly, when you start talking about something about taking down the system and uniting, they can't have that because then it becomes too much of a threat.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about that. They just want to keep cooning and buffooning.
Mm-hmm.
Like that fat turd Roland Martin crying at the voting stands and stuff, playing gospel music, crying like a free slave.
And Fox Soul was
a job. Up there butt dancing for Hillary Clinton. I can't take him serious. Not as a black person.
Who?
Roland Martin, fat ass.
Roland Martin, Porky Martin. That's what I call him, Porky Martin. He's only doing that because he wants a job at either the White House or a network job at MSNBC, so he can say, "I influenced black people to vote for Biden. Biden won." So MSNBC, give me a job, give me a show on MSNBC. So I'm making influence of the black community. I help get black people to vote. That's your Roland Martin. That's your roly polies. That's your Porky Martin, and that's your like your Van Jones. They want
Tariq Nasheed calls him Roly Poly Martin. Tariq Nasheed calls him.
Yeah, I know that. He calls him Boule Bird and stuff like that. But see, that's what your Van Jones, your Joy Reeds, your Roly Polies, if they have a job already, they want a promotion, and if they don't have a job, they want a job. So that's the thing. I'm about to click off this live stream, so because I'm kind of finished with the topics, I'm going to start creating some more videos for the week. I don't know when I'm going to do another live stream, but before I click off, I want to know if y'all have any final thoughts. And if you want me to, and if you want to on your own, you can put down the links to your channels if you want people to subscribe to them. I can do it as well. But if you want to, you have my permission to promote your channel and put your links in the chat room so that people will click on the links and subscribe to them. Because YouTube got rid of the thing where you click on the 3 dots and it will go to channel. They got rid of that. So now go to people's channel is to click on the links and get people. That was the fastest way to get people, and especially if the search engine of YouTube does not take you immediately to your channel. But do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I appreciate you bring me on, Jdawg. Like I said, it's been a long time. Man, we've been through some stuff together.
Yeah. And some of the guests that came in earlier, I might also put their links to their channels in the description box later on when the videos finish editing and stuff, including yours. But yeah, thank you. Anything else you want to say?
I just put my link down there.
Okay, that's good. Anything else you would like to say other than that?
Appreciate being on the panel.
Okay. What about you, Eric Johnson? Do you have any final thoughts before I end this this live stream?
Yeah, my final thoughts is, as Black people, we have our trials and tribulations, so we'll always go through the struggle. But if we come together as a people and fight off our true enemies, which is the white man, and majority people in other races, not all of them, we can get through this. But in our culture, we have to get rid of the sellouts, buck dancers, Aunt Sally's, the straight up coons. Because as long as they're in our community, we will always have to look over our shoulders from the white man and these other cultures, and especially these coons.
All right. Anything else that needs to be said?
Yeah, you can put my link to my YouTube channel in the little thing, because I really don't know how to like put it in like the panel and stuff, since I'll be having like hard times doing it and stuff.
Okay. Hold on a second. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna try to find your channel first.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because sometimes the YouTube search engine doesn't show your channel right away.
Yeah, I understand. Cause this how it be sometimes with like my album uploads and stuff, cause I'm a collector of music and stuff on my channel.
Channel bans and stuff on some people's channels. All right, I see your channel. Okay. I see your channel. I'm gonna also click the link to Eric Johnson's channel. Hold on a second. Give me all right. Hold on, just give me a few seconds.
Okay.
Type so slow sometimes.
I do too. I'm not a fast typer.
No. All right. This is Eric Johnson's channel. Make sure what I'm gonna do is when I get the chance, I'm gonna leave the links to all 4 guest channels in the description box and comment section for y'all to follow, and I'll just put a reminder for y'all to subscribe to those channels. But that's all I have to say about that situation. Thank y'all for coming over. I'm about to click off. Thank y'all for coming over. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch y'all in another video or live stream. So peace, everyone.
Later.
Peace, yeah. See ya. All right, peace.
All right.